Hey, party people, broadcasting from deep in the heart of Texas. It is now the 11th hour. Do you know where your reality is? What is up, everyone? I am your host with the most, Karen Performance, alongside Fizzy Pop, and this is Freaky Friday. Welcome to another round, and hope you guys are settling in. Sorry about the later start. I was, I don't know, it's been sort of a busy day and everything, and things just got away from me. So anyway, end up doing some late night or later shopping and some cooking, and yeah, just got behind people. So anyway, I'm here now, and hope everybody's doing well out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this chat room real quick. See who we have. We don't have a lot of folks right now, but we do have Adam Rose, the lone one. There's Glowing's me, Laura Galen. Galindo is here. There's Nobles. Hey man, Skobrowski, Chill Dog 509. There's Spencer's mustache, and I'm sure there'll be some more popping in now that we hit the live button. But yeah, Fizz, how's it going, girl? How you hanging in there?
I think I have the quarantine brain. I think that's an actual disease now.
Do you have a quarantine brain?
Yeah, like I
No.
have trouble remembering
No.
stuff. Every day is the same, and it just kind of blurs together, and I get all confused. I'm pretty sure it's an
Fizz,
actual illness. Wow.
can I say something? I've known you
Mm-hmm.
now for like going on 2 years now. You've had quarantine brain since I've known you.
Yeah, but now there's a name for it.
I'm just saying, like, now there's the name for
Aha!
it.
Aha!
So admitting it and understanding it's half the battle. So then all we got to do now is just focus on the cure, which is, what do you think it is? What do we need to do to get you out of quarantine brain?
Okay, hold on. I'm
What do you
looking. There's an actual article about this.
have? Is it really? Okay. Oh, by the way, just a public service announcement. Don't do this to your pets. Um, I was
What?
Koki has had, yeah, well, Koki has some dry skin. So I was putting some coconut oil on his skin, and it was all over my hands, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I don't know. I reached down and I just grabbed his paws and I started rubbing the oil on the paws.
That's creepy.
Well,
Why would you do
no,
that?
listen. No, it was cute, and you know how their paws are dry on the bottom. I thought, oh, this will be good for the paws. This will feel good. And his eyes were closed. He was loving the paw rub, man. I was giving it to him good with the paw rubs. Okay. Well, the problem
Hmm.
is that he then jumps up all of a sudden, and his. Have you ever seen the one where Bambi is trying to walk?
On the
The cartoon.
ice?
Yeah, yeah. I have hardwood floors. I didn't even think about it. The poor
Oh
dog.
no.
I know. Poor puppy. I felt so bad. I had to go. I mean, he had so much oil, and it was just everywhere. It was funny. Oh my god, poor dog. Anyway, he's good, but yeah, he definitely loves the paw rubs. He
Yeah.
loves that.
Well, that article wasn't helpful at all. But
Mm.
what I was gonna say is like, I thought things were getting back to normal. You know, like you could go to Walmart and you could get everything on your list, and then they went on
Yeah,
Wednesday, and again, people are panic buying all the meat and all the frozen, all the cans. Like
yeah.
it was a nightmare. It was like it's like starting all over again. I
So,
can't do it.
so yeah, oh, man, it's crazy. So I thought it would slow down by now, but people are still buying like crazy. Um, Dad went shopping today, and he went out to the local market and got to see it firsthand. He hasn't actually experienced it, you know.
Yes, I want my dad to see it because he don't understand why I can't get certain things. You know, like he's like, "What do you mean they didn't have any?"
No,
You know.
I know.
Yeah.
He got mad because he doesn't like the angel hair spaghetti. I'm
Mm.
like, who doesn't like angel hair spaghetti? What the hell is wrong with you? He likes the thicker noodles. I don't know what his deal is, whatever. But I told him, I was like, well, when I went and bought spaghetti last time, that's all they had was angel hair. I was lucky to get that. Okay. It's like, dude, it's slim pickings. And he got to see it firsthand. And he went out there and he's like, oh my God, everyone's wearing masks. And it's like China. It's like he hasn't seen all that yet. He's like, what the hell is going on? He's all freaking out. So anyway, yeah. So
Yeah,
he just said,
it's strange. But on the
yeah,
plus side, it's getting warmer, so people are out. They haven't closed our parks or anything. So, I mean, and they officially said that the schools are going to be closed until September. So, yeah, it's pretty hard on the kids, but what can you do? This whole thing,
oh, the
I'm
kids
done
are
with it.
loving it, man. Oh, I
No,
wish I
they're
was a
not.
kid right now. Are you kidding me? This would be the greatest ever. They closed school.
Yeah, but
Like
you
you
can't
think
see
of your
none of
summer
your friends.
vacation, huh?
You can't see none of your friends. You're stuck at home.
Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, eh, I don't know. I think it's just, I just don't want to go to school. You know, if I was a kid, I'd be super happy about that. It's yeah, it's sad I can't go hang with the friends and have slumber parties and all that kind of stuff, right? But you know, it'd still be badass. I mean, think of the longest summer vacation they get. Oh man, what an
Yeah,
awesome!
but it's
But
not
then
really
again,
summer vacation unless you're like out swimming and riding bikes and playing games.
yeah,
And
there's probably. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's ways
miles.
around. I'm sure they have. They could have you know, there could be an aunt that lives down the street has a pool. You're in. You know, it's cool. You don't get to go to the water park. Probably they probably close those down.
Well,
What about places like?
the
What's
problem
up?
isn't them closing things down. It's that people are literally afraid to go to things that are open. Do you know what I mean? Like our parks aren't closed, but people are like, you're gonna get the corona and you're gonna die. Like people are afraid of reopening, even though we've only had 3 people up
What did
here,
you?
and they were all from Florida.
Right.
I don't understand where they're getting this fear from. Like,
What did
it's
you
like
tell me this week? That I need to eat my vegetables because I would get what?
scurvy.
No, but you got to say, like, Dan, you need to eat your vegetables or you're going to get the scurvy. Scurvy.
It's
Like,
true.
the scurvy. I
Well,
was like,
think
oh my
about
God.
it. Nobody's buying fresh food. They're all like getting the canned and the frozen. They're gonna get the scurvy, and that's gonna be our next epidemic.
We're not going to die of corona. We're going to die of scurvy because no one can get any fresh. Yeah, it was weird. It's like, yeah, people are still stocking up on the produce. So we still got produce in my store, which is good. But
Yeah, people aren't buying that. They want the non-perishables. So they're not getting anything fresh. They're gonna get sick.
Somebody said, who is it? Jennifer T told me that she saw a news article here in Texas. They had to slaughter a bunch of pigs and kill them off. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you kill the pigs? I thought that was such a waste. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, why are you slaughtering pigs? And even if you did slaughter them early, couldn't you freeze them and sell the meat or whatever you use for later? Ish. I'm just a little confused as to why the pork is a problem. Like, why would you kill the pork?
The meat packing plants and something people are laid off or whatever, but they could find another use. And a lot of it too is restaurants use a lot of meat and they're not using it. So they're
our restaurant. Well, yeah,
they're dumping a lot of vegetables, a lot of milk, and it's just
dumping milk.
They're going to be a food shortage, and they're dumping all this stuff out. It's messed up.
Yeah, it is messed up, and I think that's kind of a little strange. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know why certain restaurants, yes, they won't let the doors, like you can't go inside and eat, whatever. Okay. But they're doing mad sales over the phone. They're doing, these things where you can order online and get a discount, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, any of you guys, anybody listening right now, this is a great deal. I got to share it with you guys. If you guys have a Marco's Pizza, Family Video / Marco's Pizza. Marco's Pizza is offering 50% off on your order when you order online. Oh, baby. Yeah, let me tell you, that's
Marco's
awesome.
Video Pizza?
Marco's, yeah, it's Family Video and Marco's Pizza usually like side by side, so you can still. It's pretty cool here in Texas. We have video stores still, and that Family Video is one of the stores, and you can go get a pizza, and they'll give you a little sticker, and you can go next door and get a movie while you wait, and free movie. Yeah, really cool. Now they're in different locations all over the country. I don't know, maybe there's one near you, but I'm just telling you, man, that came in handy a few nights, and just like, oh man, what do I cook? And like, oh, I can get 50% off my pizza. That's pretty cool.
I miss renting movies. We bought so many that we've only watched one time. Do you know what I mean? I miss renting them.
Renting movies, yeah. Dad still rents movies. He likes to rent movies and watch them.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they can't do something better with the pigs. Like up here, they're giving milk away instead of dumping it.
Yeah,
like we've been having and stuff like that.
Well,
I don't understand.
You would think that if they can't like sell it, then just give it away and write it off as a tax write-off. Say you're donating it or something. Somebody wants it. Somebody's got a freezer in Texas. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to just waste food and waste things that you're. And why kill the pigs if you're not going to eat them? Like, I feel like that's kind of sad too. Like,
because it costs so much to feed them, and if they're not making any profit, they might as well get rid of them now. That's what they're thinking.
I don't know. It's really a sad situation if that's really happening. I don't know. I'm like, are you sure this is really going down? Are they just saying all this? Because I'm starting to think that they want to create more of a, of a panic for stuff.
Yeah.
Does that seem maybe logical? Like they just keep ramping this thing up even more versus the paper now.
Because they didn't get the deaths that they expected, so they got to scare people with a food shortage.
I guess, and make people even nuttier. Okay, so we can get into some of those crazier topics, like Michigan and California. Apparently, these protests that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that? All right. So somebody, I watched a video where a guy was showing these guys with guns and stuff at the like Michigan, somewhere in Michigan at the courthouse or at the federal building, and they got like their AR-15s, and it's supposedly they're inside this thing, and they're standing there, and it's like, okay, well, I didn't see any live footage of it. I only saw pictures. Okay, now. This is what the news reported, and they just showed pictures. They didn't show any live footage. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. First off, you can't walk into a federal building with a gun. Okay, you may be able to march around it, but you can't get on its property with a firearm. Okay, so I don't know what the rules are in Michigan per se, but I got to kind of question, like, is that an actual photograph? Are they just trying to like create this? Get people riled up and get their guns, and let's go out there and let's do something stupid, And I feel like this is kind of what they're trying to really press for. They want people to get angry. And they want people, and they want to show it on television and show people, getting upset, and then you're like sitting there on your couch and you're like, yeah, I got a gun. I'm going down there too, boy. Huh?
If people are for reopening, they compare them with the protesters. So you don't want to say that you want to reopen now because you'll get compared to these crazies.
Oh, the reopeners. Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Is I think a lot of that was sort of manufactured. I got to tell you, I feel like a lot of this stuff is some sort of like COINTELPRO type stuff going down. While everybody's just chilling and waiting, and nobody was acting crazy, nobody's getting upset or nobody's freaking out. 1 month into this, next thing you know, you start hearing about people getting all pissed off and like, I need to get back to work, and it's like, well, not that, there isn't some people that are, dealing with that and probably do need to get back to work and definitely, are worrying about stuff. I don't think we're at the point yet where people are picking up guns and marching and this and that, but yet they're showing it on television. And This is the kind of stuff they do. They program you with that stuff, and then people start to get, excited, and then they do something stupid because they're watching television. This is how it works. Okay. It's how they control your emotions through TV and media. So, yeah, I would say, just urge on the side of caution here, because I just, be careful about what you're seeing out there, because it may not be true. Unless you go down there and see it for yourself, especially in this time period, unless you can go down there and see this stuff happening. There have been plenty of times where news has reported fake stuff. Okay.
Dan,
Oh, come on, man.
are you one of those crazy reopeners, Dan? Don't you care about the children and the elderly?
Oh, I'm a no masker. I'm a no masker. I'm a reopener. I'm like, mask. My friend, I told you about that, how I went to a store and he's like, you got to wear the mask. And I just looked at him and laughed and pointed. And I'm like, look at you. Look at you wearing what are you, a doctor? What are you going to, what you doing there, buddy? I was like, why are you wearing a mask?
Well, I told you I pulled a Dan in the store.
What'd you do?
Well, I was bagging up my groceries, and you know how the little plastic bags get stuck together? And after a while, I got frustrated, and I just took my mask off and licked my fingers and then to get the bags out. And the woman behind me was so grossed out. She was looking at me like, your hands have touched everything in the store, and you haven't sanitized them. You just licked them. And she went to another aisle. She was so grossed out by it.
You licked them?
Yeah. Well, how else do you get the bags apart? You got to lick your fingers and get them out, Dan.
Oh, right. And no, this is what I'm saying. And then I saw another news broadcast where they're talking about like, well, now if you see somebody who's sick, you might want to, start tattling on them. And
I was expecting my face to show up like in the Facebook group, like, she's got it. She's got the corona. But it's so stupid because everything in the store, people are touching it, unless you go home and personally sanitize everything you bought, and like sanitize yourself and everything else, like it's still on things, if it's even there at all, which I don't think it's up here, so I'm not worried about it.
I still want to. I don't. I talk about this all the time. Like I'm just gonna go lick a shopping cart or something just to mess with people. But I'm not really going. I mean,
I wouldn't lick the shopping cart. Birds keep on outside. Man.
I don't. Plus, I'm just like everyone's like it's turned into China in my little town in Texas. Everyone's wearing masks everywhere. You go to the go get food and whatever. Now you can't go inside, so you got to go drive through or whatever. And they come out and it's like everyone's an RN. It's like weird. It's the weirdest thing. I never in my life when you used to see that stuff, you'd be like, oh, that's that far off land to the east. That's not us. We don't have to deal with that.
Do you know how many cases you've had in your county?
I don't care.
No, I'm just saying we have legitimately have had 3, Dan, and people are so afraid to reopen in this little town. It's like, come on, guys. They're like, if we reopen, everyone from New York City is going to come here because it's safe. I'm like, no, they're not. Right. They don't want to be here.
There's nothing to do. You're just out in the country.
Yeah, because they closed down all the campsites and all the we have a lot of tourist stuff up here. All that's canceled. So, I guess camping is too close.
I heard somewhere they're reporting that the animals have gotten corona now.
Yeah, just
animals are getting coronavirus now. I think a tiger at a zoo or something got corona.
Yeah, a tiger and then 2 house cats had it.
Great. So how is that working? How does that work for real? How does a tiger end up getting coronavirus?
Well, cats cats can catch cold, and there is a cat flu, but it's not the same one that they're talking about with us. Like they're not going to be. You're going to see cats on ventilators or anything. They can they can survive it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Look what Dean just wrote. 666. Let me tell you something. Okay. I've had me a little stint with the numbers this week. Good Lord. I have seen more 666s than I have seen in a long time. Actually, when it comes to random numbers, like I've told you about my 1111 stint and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure a lot of us have had those times. But this week has been 666. I mean, golly, I could not get away from that number. It was on everything, receipts, just on the internet, just popping up. God's Armor's channel. Not to say anything just about God's Armor. I'm not saying he is, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it was weird. Somebody, posted the link, saying he was live, and he just happened to have 666 subscribers. I'm just like, okay, and I don't think of it like, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it from my standpoint, like, dude, I keep seeing this number. Why do I keep seeing it? How many other people have been dealing with it? Variable. You too? You too, Variable. Okay.
I never see numbers, but I don't really pay attention to that.
Gosh. I've been seeing it like crazy. It's been annoying, like seriously annoying. Like every time I would look up and, whatever, it's just like would be there. And it's just a strange number to see. And of course, I see a lot, and, I deal with a lot of numbers because like in the game I play or whatever, the Warships game, battling it out. I look at the score. I just happen to look up and it's 666 at the end of the score. It might be whatever.
The boat game's evil. Damn.
Maybe the boat game is evil. Maybe that's what it's trying to tell me.
It is evil.
Crazy. Adam Rose. Yeah. Okay. A few. Spencer's mustache. I still see 1111. Yeah. I had that years and years ago before I was as I was waking up to whatever all this is, our beautiful reality that we're experiencing right now. This wonderful world that seems to be totally like, I don't know, girl. We are moving into some wild stuff. I don't know. I'm just not sure, what road we're going down. On one hand, I can see positive, to this. On the other hand, I see some negatives to this. But then again, maybe I just think it's probably all God's plan, I gotta tell you, I just put it in God's hands and say, you know what, dude, whatever you got going on, I hope this is working out. But in a lot of ways, from a personal aspect of, when all this is taking place and all this is happening, I couldn't tell you that this couldn't be better timing for me personally, on a personal level. This has actually really been, unbelievably perfect timing for this to happen. Not that I want it to happen, just saying, it's crazy. So, I'm sort of like, I'll wait. It's a wait and see thing for me. It's probably better than my one theory that I told you about this week.
You will not mention that on air. We'll get banned from everyone forever.
It was funny though. I was like, no, I was just like,
it's not.
I think I have something here.
Don't know. I can tell you one. Put it out. I'm not gonna let this happen.
You can't. I can't talk about that one. That was. I think I was like, you know what? I see. Yeah, dude, this could work.
But that would go against everything else they've been planning, Dan.
What are they planning, Fizzy?
They don't want the families together.
But they do. That's why we're home with our families.
Yeah, arguing. Domestic violence is up. Suicide is up. Drug use is up.
Oh, drug use. Well, okay. Well, no one's got anything to do but sit around and get high for a lot of people. It's just, just saying. A lot of people don't have nothing to do. So they're like, they smoke anyway. Now it's just like they're not having work. So they're just smoking more. As far as domestic violence goes, well, maybe, I haven't, heard of anybody getting upset. Or I will say people are, definitely a little more, they're still freaked out, they're still panic buying. But I mean, for the most part, people seem like they're handling it okay for them, for the most part. I'm sure there's
don't look at your Facebook then. I should get off Facebook for the next month because like I feel like everything's fine around here until I look at that, and then I just see everyone posting weird articles and arguing.
Yeah, but Facebook is like the worst place because if they are going to, push ideas and information that they want us to like, soak in as a part of a way to program people, Facebook is a totally programming tool. So where these articles are coming from, who knows? I mean, I think most of the media is just a lot of it's just really, I mean, and not to overuse the word fake news or whatever. I'm not saying that. Well, I am saying that, but I'm saying that I see a like, dude, my theories are crazy. Like, I think some of these newscasters aren't even real. I think they're just CGI like composites of people. I don't even think they always have these, people that are sitting there like whatever. How do we even know these people are real? They could literally be a digital representation of somebody just telling you the news. We don't even know if they're real. Some of them, just saying, not all of them, but we don't know. I mean, there's just, talking heads spewing the information the system wants them to spew. And, I don't know. That's why I just got away from it a long time ago, because I could see the program coming into view here in America with the terror alerts.
It's just sad when you see people like my Aunt Renee is so against the reopening, and she just pushes this deadly virus stuff all day, and it's like, how can you be so stupid? It's hard to see people that you care about being absolutely retarded about this. Like, even my dad and brother now are like, it's not like they want to reopen, and they're like, it's not that bad up here, and we're fine, and they don't let mom watch the news anymore because it's just stupid. So at least some people I know are getting it. But
some people really enjoy the fear of this idea that we're in a pandemic. It's like it's it's like watching, like I said, it's like watching a train wreck. You're going to see something terrible, but you can't turn away. And same thing with that. It's the same panic, same fear driven thing. It's
like a bad soap
opera. It is, and people are stuck to it, and they're stuck on Facebook, and they're looking for any kind of scary something to post, like, oh my God, look at this news article from ABC News, ABCD News, or whatever it is, I don't know. I always see these articles being posted, and it's always from sources, most of the time from sources I've never heard of before. Some random news source, like the Global News Network. Who the hell is the Global News Network? I keep getting these pop-up messages from YouTube telling me about, some prime minister talking about coronavirus, or Trump talking about coronavirus today. And apparently there's a new holiday now, because I don't know, for something related to Corona. I don't know.
What? Anyway, what holiday?
Yeah. I saw a pop up. Yeah. Now I didn't watch it because I don't watch that crap. Because I'm like, oh God, just every day it's got to be some dude with a row of flags behind him at a podium with his hair messed up, aka some prime minister from some effing country who's sitting there going, okay, we're gonna get through this coronavirus, and it's just like, we're in it together.
If I see that
don't
one,
worry.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I just see these pop-ups every day from some weird, and I didn't sign up for this, but YouTube loves sending me those. Hold on a second. Dog? Boy?
He's mad at you for the oil.
Oh, he's so pissed about the oil. He was like, what did you do to me? You should have seen his poor face.
Show them the Grim Reaper protester. This is the kind of stuff people clap about.
Okay.
Like, yeah, way to tell those reopeners that they're wrong and we're all going to die.
This guy. Just I'm talking about.
Clap for stuff like this. It's insanity.
Really?
If you don't want to go to the beach, don't go. But you can let other people go.
Okay, I have to laugh at this because it's like, okay, why in the hell? Look at this, guys. Check it out. Let me get the screen up here. All right, there we go. A lawyer dressed as the Grim Reaper is haunting Florida beaches to protest their reopening. So there's a guy, right? Do you really think this dude is spending time each day walking around as a Grim damn Reaper just to do this without being like what? What do you think this guy? First off, is this really happening? Number one. Two, if he is doing it, who the hell's paying him to do it? Who would do this? This is ridiculous. And to scare people away from the beaches. So he's going to stand up there like the Grim Reaper to do what? I mean, this is nutty. And then you have a firm.
Is he wearing a mask?
I think he is. I can't really tell. It's a Twitter feed.
Uh-oh. Not the Twitter, not the Twitter.
Oh, no. Is that him? Oh. I don't know. Maybe. Jeez.
Trump, Dan.
Oh, look.
Oh,
here's
God.
Graves. The mass Graves Vizzy.
Twitter is literal cancer. I can't look at it.
Jeez. Oh, boy. Yeah. What the hell is that on the bottom? What does it say? Can't read the writing. Why is it? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. It's just whatever. I'm like, fake. Fake.
You're right, though. Like, people do like to watch this fear and this.
Can't get enough.
Like, the reopeners versus the stay-at-homers, and everyone joins a team and everyone cheers for their side.
Why do we always have to do this? Do you notice with everything, every damn thing in this world, we always have to, create this right versus left and me versus that person and this channel versus that channel. And like, I am so sick of the drama bullcrap, man, that people create. They're literally just doing it for like now it's openers versus reopeners. Really? Like what the hell is happening here? So strange. I'm gonna tell you, it's just it's just par for the course what we seem to deal with. And then the rest of us who the majority, I really believe the silent majority, who are maybe in the middle about all this, think, yeah, we should reopen and maybe we should do it a certain way and whatever. They're not like totally against it or totally for it. The rest of us, like the majority, never get a voice. It's always these little fringe groups on the right or left that seem to have the most voice and get all the media attention, and seem to be pushing the narrative.
I'm all about reopening, but if you don't feel safe yet, just stay at home. That's your right. And then they can see that everybody's going to be fine. And then slowly those people will be like, we're okay now. We cannot stay inside for the rest of the year. That's ridiculous. I don't know what they expect.
We watched The Doctor, didn't we? The guy that came out and said, listen, we have data now. We can tell by the data that the numbers
he's been proven wrong also.
Oh, have they? Oh.
Yes.
Really?
His numbers were completely wrong, but he did have a good point.
Really?
It's not as bad as they thought it was going to be, so they should lift restrictions. That's all.
Well, he made the point I made. That was kind of fun listening to him. He said, hey, what about in 2017 when like 50, 60 million died in America because of the flu? Did we have a big, pandemic then? He's like, no. And so, it's just interesting that he said that. I had mentioned that in previous broadcasts where, I thought that was interesting that, before in the past, we've got people dying every year of millions dying, right? Of malaria and other diseases.
Well,
and we don't seem to be freaking out about mosquitoes.
When is the normal flu season? Like September to March or something like that? Doesn't the flu die in the sun, or is that completely wrong and stupid?
What's that now? The flu season?
Like nobody really gets the flu in the summertime, so shouldn't we reopen in the summer while we can?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like right now it's allergy season. Well, allergy season's damn near worse than flu season here in Texas. So if you're walking around with a sniffle or your eyes are red, dude, it's gonna be like, you ever seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Seriously, the
No,
point
I
where no, in the movie, like, so they're basically, they put like this big cucumber in bed with you, and the cucumber, like these little tentacles come out, and then like
A
it
cucumber?
like yeah, it's a cucumber. It's like a big cucumber. It's like a big jalapeno. They
And
put a
this is
big
a
jalapeno in your bed. Yeah, it's a movie, and it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and they put this thing in you while you're sleeping, and then like it goes in there, it tentacles you, and then it takes your body,
Put it where, Dan?
takes your soul.
The
Huh?
cucumber? They put the cucumber where, Dan?
In the bed with you. You sleep with it. You have to let you go to sleep, and they put a cucumber. Yeah, it's a big cucumber though. Yeah, it's like a big cucumber. It's like, think of like, I call it a cucumber. It's almost jalapeno shaped or something, if I remember right. I don't know. Anyway, they put this in your bed, and then like you don't know it's there, and then so it while you're sleeping and you're in REM, it gets you, and then you come out of the pod that's next to you, and you grow into a new person, and you don't even realize
complicated.
It takes over your body, and then you walk around and you're one of them, and they know you're one of them because you only have emotions. So if you walk around and you're just normal and you're just like very emotionless, you can like walk amongst them. But if you show any kind of emotion or something startles you, they'll just point at you and do a screeching noise. Oh my God, it's so crazy. You never seen Invasion of the Body Snatcher?
That sounds too
We
scary.
got to watch it.
It's
really, yeah, I know. You know, the best thing is after me and my sister watch it, I'm like, I put a cucumber in her bed. Then
yeah, that's
is that wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong? I mean, I know I'm so bad. My sister, I know. I kind of know why she doesn't talk to me anymore. I did torture my sister a little bit, growing up.
Oh,
just yeah. What's up?
You forgot the call number, and you should show them the demonic TikToks. This is why we don't use TikTok, boys and girls. They're dancing.
Yeah.
These nurses are doing these like choreographed dances that must have taken hours to practice, and they got body bags, and they're dancing and singing, and they're having a great time. It's like, if you're really treating these patients, why are you like laughing like that? It's creepy. I don't like it.
Let me get to TikTok.
See, Glowing to Me says it does die out in the summertime. That's why Florida's doing better than they thought, because it's warmer.
Oh, I thought it was sand that killed it.
Could be.
It's very sandy, Florida. What are we doing? Let me see here. Oh God.
It's in your Facebook Messenger. It's
bad. I see. I'm just trying to blow it up though. Wait a minute, I clicked the link. Okay. Oh my God. Did you hear that?
I told you. Yeah.
Ow. My ears. My little ears. Ow.
Calm down, Dan.
That hurt. Fizzy. I don't want
to put an avocado in your bed. Wake up with a new Dan.
I'll freak out. I won't go with a Hass avocado laying next to me like, fuck that, no. I would jump out of bed. My dog's pointing at me laughing like, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
How you feel? You got the quarantine brain?
I'm sure I do. I just don't want to admit it. Not like you. You've made it to the halfway point. Okay, let me share screen here. All right, so this is TikTok.
Yeah, so there's these are nurses.
Mm-hmm. These are nurses. Are you sure that? Yeah, they look like nurses. They're wearing scrubs. I mean, I guess we could assume.
Yeah, there are a lot of people saying these are faked.
Okay.
But even if they are, what's the purpose? Why would a bunch of friends dress up as nurses with a body bag?
I know this.
Everything they're doing is so confusing to me.
It says COVID-19 on the bag. Oh, weird. Okay, let's watch this. She's got blood.
Yes.
On her face. What the hell, man? God, that is.
I told you TikTok was evil.
TikTok is definitely evil. What the hell are people doing, man? Whatever, dude. This is odd. It does look like they're in does it look like they're in a hospital, or is this yeah, it looks like a hospital, doesn't it? Maybe they're in the kids section. Oh, geez. Nice. If these are real nurses, you guys are messed up, dude.
They should be fired.
That's gross. Dude. That's why I don't do TikTok. Yeah, okay. So they're just dancing around. Let me see. Let me check this right here. Right. And
yeah, but no music, it's even creepier.
Now, is that a real person, or is that like a dummy? It's probably just a dummy. Or you think they're calling it their friend?
I think it's one of their friends in the body bag, and they're just prancing around with it. Yeah, that's normal.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, a little normal. Okay, so there was that link. What else did you send me?
I don't know.
Yeah, was there anything else? You're like, I don't know.
I don't remember. Let me see.
Oh, that's the scary monster.
Yeah, don't look at that one. Yeah, I'm so sick of these corporate wearing this together messages. They don't like Burger King. It's a nice thought, but I don't really need you right now.
We're in this together. That's why we laid off 90% of our workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Oh, is this the one? Oh, yeah. So, what is this little thing you sent me? This meme. What is this? Even apart, we're in this together.
Yeah, that's another corporate message from Facebook. And it is huge.
Oh, a new reaction emoji. Where it's got a heart and hugging it. Oh, how sweet. Oh, I saw the new thing you can put around. Did you do that thing? Or it's people doing that weird, we're in this together, Corvid, how they always do those weird political statements in Facebook where you put
on the profile
yeah, in the profile picture, there's something you can do. I didn't do it. I was like, whatever. I'm not doing that. What was that? Did you do it?
Oh no, I didn't do that. But here's a list of the things they're reopening. One of them is tanning salons. Does that make any sense? You're not allowed to get your hair done, but you can go in for a fake tan. Where I've been in places where people don't wipe down the beds very well. They're sweaty and gross.
That is the worst place to reopen right now.
I don't understand their logic. Yeah. It's like they're trying to make people angry by doing the dumbest things they possibly can.
I used to have the spray bottle of the disinfectant stuff. Dude, I'm surprised they didn't short out the tanning bed. I used to spray that thing down major. Because people in this lane are sweating to death, It's really gross if you think about it. I'm just saying it's kind of gross. Using other tanning, maybe they have the stand-up tanning things. You can stand up tan. You know that?
I do like the stand-up better because you don't get that thing under your arms, the white part.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't really need a tan, being Garcia and all,
Yeah.
Being Latino. Whatever I am. I don't know.
Latinx, I think it is now.
Huh?
Latinx, I think they're calling it now.
Really? What are you saying? Oh, yeah. Well, this is, I'm sure there's a lot of corporate stuff going on with this stuff and, definitely trying to spread the message. What is your message tonight, guys? Let us know. Listen, I'm going to open up the phone lines here. Here, let me go ahead and put the phone line. There's the phone number right there. And let's see here. I'm going to get the call center working. Hopefully everything goes on without a hitch here because let's see.
Oh, another thing that's going up besides
sorry.
Car accidents.
Car accidents.
This
Yeah,
free
people.
conference call provided by Uber Conference.
Sorry.
You are the first participant.
I usually
in
do
this
this
Uber
before the
conference.
broadcast.
Please
all right.
while we wait for the others to join.
All right. So what were you saying about car accidents?
People are seeing open roads and driving like crazy people. We had someone hit a pregnant woman the other day.
Hit a pregnant
Hit and
woman?
run. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Jeez. Well,
Yeah,
like,
she's the
why
same
was
age
there?
with me. People are driving like idiots because there's no one on the road. There was one car they found up in the middle of the woods where it crashed into a tree and caught on fire, and they don't know how long it was there. They just found the burnt car.
Did they? Well, so, like, was she crossing the road? Or?
She was on the bridge. And,
yeah.
Guess how old the guy was? 33. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. And she was what? 21.
No, she's 37.
Oh, okay.
And she was walking across the bridge with her dog, and he just bonked her with the vehicle and kept driving.
You think he was drunk?
Yeah, he was definitely drunk.
Yeah. People are like partaking probably a little bit more, sitting at home, nothing to do. Like I said, that's the only bad part is if you have bad habits and you're at home, your work sometimes keeps you from doing some of those bad habits because you're like, well, I got to work and I can't, necessarily be hammered on the job or high. Well, now people are home probably getting lit. I'm just thinking.
Oh,
it's a theory.
And there was this huge controversy up here because the Amish are still having church. They refuse to close the church. So what they're doing now is they're hiding their buggies behind and under like trees so they don't get reported. Like, who's reporting the Amish? Come on, guys.
Oh, you gotta leave the Amish alone. Can't mess with the Amish. But I'll tell you what, if they start breaking up Amish services and stuff like that, they're gonna get a pitchfork. I'm telling you, right in the gut. These people don't play, man. They don't mess with a Sunday service if you're Amish. You get a pitchfork or like something else, like a horseshoe, something. I'm just saying, those people are rough. Okay, listen. Let's see. First up, let's go to West Los Angeles, California. West Los Angeles, John with Scared Performance. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Dan and Fizzy? Good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
Hey, man. How you doing, dude? Yeah, 2020. Good to hear from you, man. What do you think about what's going on? Yeah, man.
So let me tell you real quick. She's asleep because she's a first-line responder, whatever you want to call it. She's a nurse practitioner, and she's swabbing people all day in the South Texas sun, which is, as you know, well, maybe it's different up there, but down here it's like 100 degrees all the time.
Sure.
We're in the deep South over here. So she's super tired from that, and that's why I actually get to hang out with you guys tonight.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like, it's interesting because, like you were saying, there's all these different, it's so crazy how this whole thing is such a can of worms. Every time it comes up, it's like there's this wide spectrum, and everyone is, like you said, kind of like drawing a line in the sand, and it's like, no, this is what's going on, and you're wrong, and on the other side saying, no, it's really happening.
Yeah,
and
it's a very divisive thing,
like
right?
And it's like people get so bent out of shape over it. It's crazy. And I kind of get it because, it's like, don't tread on me kind of thing. I mean, that whole civil libertarian in the truther community is really coming out hard now. And I kind of get it, but I think, to be honest, I think there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks on this issue. And like you said, they're just kind of flipping through the memes and the videos, and we don't even know how much of it's really true. And they're kind of latching on to whatever perspective that feeds that ego. And it's so weird to see so much divisiveness over it. I have my perspective on it is, I don't know if it's as well. Like I said, my wife's kind of in the middle of it, so we don't have a very acute population or problem, you could say.
Okay.
Of this, I call it a pathogen, just so I don't piss off people, right? Because viruses don't exist. I don't want to go there.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not ready to go there. I mean, something made me sick when I was a kid. Something gave me walking pneumonia. I mean, what was that? Was it 5G that did it to me? No. Was it QAnon? No. Okay, I've been sick before.
So,
I mean, I know, let's whatever. Yeah. Okay.
I call it a pathogen because I know something is happening. And it's not 5G, by the way. In my opinion, it's not 5G. I mean, the thing is, where do I start with this? Like, okay, so she's out there, she's testing people, or she's taking the samples. She has made friends with the lab, the people at the lab that are actually doing the test. And most of these people that she's met, at least in this area, they're just young grad students in, getting like their postgraduate degrees in like virology and stuff like that. And they're just normal, nice people trying to help. They're not like staged actors, working with the guys down at the lodge trying to put on this hoax. They're like, these are real people, nice, normal people just trying to help. And she says what they do is they get the swabs and they get the DNA, right? And then what they do is they separate it into the RNA, or they convert it to RNA. And then this particular pathogen leaves a certain protein signature. And that's how they distinguish it from other corona virus, because it's a whole spectrum of family of viruses, right? The corona family of viruses. And so it's real. But the thing is, to that same point, it's way overhyped, because she has told me the vast majority of people getting these tests are not testing positive for it. But you do see so much hype about it in other areas where it sounds like the world is, the sky is falling.
Right.
So there's that dimension to it as well. So I don't like to go I don't like to say it's one thing or another, because people will say, well, it's just 5G because I have the facts. Well, no, you don't, because you're just regurgitating what you've read or heard or seen some research paper on. I mean, you're armchair quarterbacking it as far as I'm concerned, unless you're in the middle of it. So it's not one thing or another. I mean, it's not like one. It's much more sophisticated than that. And I have an opinion about it because, of course, there's something that is surreptitious about it. But I just kind of get tired of that whole divisiveness aspect of it. It just
it's like they push it on us like you're gonna have it's like you have either vaxxers or anti-vaxxers. Well, what about smart vaxxers? How about those people? Where are they? The majority of people, the real majority of people who are like, maybe they don't want to over-vax their kids, but they don't want to, not vax. Okay. There's people that want to be safe about it. What's wrong with that? Why does it always have to be you're an anti-vaxxer, or you're a pro-vaxxer, or you're pro-choice, or you're pro-life, or you're, it's always one or the other. Yeah. You see how this works? And it's the same thing now with this. And it's like pitting us against each other. And it's like, well, these aren't always my views. It's just like with the whole virus thing I've said from the beginning. I was like, look, I'm not saying there isn't coronavirus may not be real or whatever. I'm not saying there isn't viruses. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is that we have to be careful about the media and how they overhype things to get us stimulated to do something stupid. Okay. Like rush out and buy toilet paper, or rush out and rush the stores to buy, to stock up on things we don't need. It's kind of weird that, they're doing this to us. So my question is why? I asked the why. And so I'm sitting back watching all this take place, and I'm like, I'm just, trying to observe at this moment. That's what I've been saying for the last month, that this channel, at least most of us, are just taking a wait and see approach to this thing before we just come out and be like, no, it's this way and it's that, like I don't know. I'm gonna be the first to tell you I don't know. But it does look like there is some false reporting being done. It does look like some of the numbers are. I talked, like I said in my last broadcast, I talked to a guy is right there in line with me. Just happened to be there, and we were discussing the screens, the plexiglass that went up, and he wasn't wearing a mask. I wasn't wearing a mask. So what do you think about this? He goes, well, I'll tell you what I think about it. My grandmother died. She's been fighting cancer for 3 years. She died of cancer, okay, because she's been fighting it for 3 years, right? She's been taking chemo and she got sick and whatever. And then they put on the death certificate, she died of corona. They didn't test her for it. She died of cancer. So there is a number right there, at least one I know, of a false reporting of a corona death. Okay. And I've heard it firsthand. That was here in my town, in my little town. I talked to a guy. Now, I don't know where she passed away. I don't know where she, is here in South Texas.
Okay. Well, that's important because I think it depends where. See, I think the hoax narrative I think it's tending to grow out of areas that I would say are more, you could say, globalist controlled, because I think there is a globalist agenda to overhyping it, right? And
I absolutely think so, don't you? I mean, look at this rollout, man. Look at what they did for something that's really unseen. I mean, we're not really. They're going to say, well, and of course, their reaction to this is, well, of course, if we hadn't taken those measures, Dan, it would have been much worse. But we don't know that. That's just what they're telling us. We don't know if shutting down the economy and all this stuff. But here's the thing that's so weird about it. You see some things that are like people like don't mind, such as gas down to $1 a gallon, things like that. Of course, nobody really wants to travel anywhere because there's really nowhere to go because everything's closed. However, the point is like there is some positives to all this that are kind of happening. And that's the weird aspect of it, is like, what does all this mean? Why is all this happening? Where is this leading? What ends justifies the means to all this, if it is a contrived thing to some degree, right?
Yeah, and there is a lot to that. And that's where the divisiveness comes into play, because what I found is this discussion will eventually boil down to really if at least within the truther community, I think it tends to boil down to the prophetic perspective that the person has. And people hold those things very close to their heart, those ideas. And that's why I think people fight over it so much, because how they understand and perceive the issue will eventually feed into the end times prophetic perspective that they have. And that's what I've noticed a lot about it. You said you don't know why, or do you want to talk about what you think? Do you have a theory? Because I've got mine, but I mean,
okay. Well, let's hear your theory. Let's because I mean, I've talked about my theories in the past about where I think this could be leading to, and like I see, oddly enough, I see both sides of it. I see like some positives coming out of all this, oddly enough, and I see could be some really, really bad things happening or coming our way. But like before I go spouting off and just doing the fear, I don't want to spread fear or speak out about something I'm not sure about, then to later apologize for it. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be careful about what I say. I'm just not going to just randomly just be like, oh, it's this, it's that, because I don't know. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know. But like I told you, I do see both sides of this, and I see good and bad potentially could come out of it. So go ahead and tell me what you think.
Well, and I agree. I mean, we should always talk about these things as if they're theoretical, really. And it's really, to me, irritating to see people say it is this and you better shut up. It's just let's at least start with this is my idea, right? So what I think is going on is that I believe, okay, from the beginning, to me, this looked a lot like a bioweapon, and because of the way it behaved and the way it initially, who it initially affected and how bad it affected them, namely China and Iran and Italy later on. And in those examples, the media was, I believe, underreporting the actual amount of death and destruction that it was causing. And what you actually found was more independent type of media, like people, kind of trying to break through the great firewall of China and stuff like this, getting info out. And even the Epoch Times reported that there was a lot more to it at the time, that there was a lot more damage to China that was happening. And I believe that the way it spread and how it spread to specifically Western enemies at first sounded much like a bioweapon to me. And I could tell from it that it was being underreported how much damage it was being done there. And then it started spreading across the world. And then the next one that was hit really bad was Italy. And you think, well, Italy's not an enemy of the West, but interestingly, Italy did a pretty big economic deal with China, and they're trying to do this Silk Road project across Europe, and Italy just at the end of last year did a big deal with China over it. Okay, and so that was, to me, also curious that Italy was getting hit really bad, being an ally with China now, at least economically.
And Iran too.
And Iran. And Iran too. And what was the other thing about it was it started to happen. It started to go really intense right after we took out that Iranian general. Forget his name. What, Soleimani or something. And then there was this other strange incident. I think it was in Afghanistan or near Afghanistan, where supposedly the CIA architect of that project, that Black Op, was shot down by some Bedouins on a camel. Like, that really happened. But some analysts were saying it looked a lot like a Russian surface-to-air missile that took that CIA jet down. And then it was right after that the virus started really taking off. And it was to me looking like a hidden war going on, like in the background, a war between the West and its adversaries. And it's like they're trying to keep this war hidden and just giving you enough information to
but see
that something was going on, but it was like a fog of war kind of thing.
Well, something is weird here because Fauci, the doctor, decided, I saw the video where, like, in 2016, 17, he stated that there would be a pandemic coming. I think it was 2017. It's kind of weird to me that Mr. Doc knows about this pandemic that's coming. That the book was rewritten. God, what's that? What's the name of the author who wrote in the book where he mentioned the coronavirus are coming out of Wuhan, China, Wuhan 400 or whatever. It just escaped me. Dean Koontz. Thank you. So you had that, and so it's almost like, are we seeing this sort of narrative play out again? Going back and looking at all the, like I said, once again, the 9/11 stuff, where how many times did we see pre-programming now, looking back after the fact, of course, but looking back and seeing the pre-programming of 9/11 and planes flying into those buildings, and the idea that, that they were coming down, that the idea was implanted in us. And so to me, this is just skimming the surface now. I'm sure once people keep looking, it's going to pop in movies and things like that of mentioning, the COVID thing, or even the virus or Wuhan or, anything like that. These terms will pop up and people are starting to notice these things. So, is it being planted in our subconscious? And so I have to question it. Like, maybe you're right on some degree. Like, well, at least they knew about it, or they knew something was about to happen. But it was definitely planned for a long time. And I don't know how many years, because so
there's an aspect to it that's really important, though. I think if what I'm talking about has any merit, there's a fog of war element to it that you have to grasp. That, like you said, Fauci had talked about an oncoming virus, and Kuntz, the Wuhan 400 thing. You have to, if this is really a black op, let's say, from my opinion, being carried out by the West against its adversaries, then it's going to have a fog of war narrative to eventually set up a patsy, just like they all do, right? Like, how Oswald was the patsy, right? Well, in this case, I think what's happening is China is being set up as the patsy. That's what I think is going on at this point.
Well, it appears that way.
And the reason why.
Yeah.
What's that?
It appears that way since Trump pulled us out of the WHO and all the stuff. He's kind of blaming China for not at least announcing it sooner. Mm-hmm.
The reason why it's in America and we're not all, dead, like falling over, and the funeral homes aren't going like 24/7 like they were in Wuhan, is because I believe a version of the virus or the pathogen, let's say, had to be released worldwide with various levels of virulence and mortality potential, so that the West China couldn't point to the West and say, hey, look, see, they did it. They're not even getting sick. It's got to be them. If the whole world gets it, now there's plausible deniability as to who done it, right? But what it's doing, it's actually, this is one aspect of it. I think it's actually conquering Western allies, but it's also, and this is the part where the Q haters and the Q people will start fighting. I think there's another dimension to it where it's actually being used to bring down the system of international finance at the same time. And that's why the economy aspect of this event is so significant, because I think it's eventually going to lead to the collapse of the international financial system. And and that's part of the plan, or that's part of the strategy.
I can see that happening, and I can see them really
I've been
creating
demolition.
Well, this is the controlled demolition happening right now, right? So what you see happening is on a world stage, a world view, they can definitely implement more regulations per se. It may come down to where they're saying, and I could see a lot of ways it could take this. Okay. And I almost don't like even saying it, because it's like putting that energy out there, but I have to say it, unfortunately. But I do think, I see this world control structure being created because of this, not only in our local level, but even further than that, further as far as, across borders and things like that, because they're going to say, well, we need to see your vaccination records to see if you've been vaccinated for this, or whatever. You can't come visit our country unless we know, what I'm saying? Like, this fear, and this is going to cripple a lot of travel. It's going to cripple the financial system. It's crippling big oil, a lot of corporations. So, there's a lot of things going on here, man. And it's sort of unraveling right now as we speak.
Well, see what you're getting at there. That's when it starts to get into the prophetic viewpoint, though. This is where I start to diverge from others, I think. Well, not necessarily just me, but my opinion is that the power players are not homogenous. Like, they're not monolithic. Like the so-called New World Order is not monolithic. So I think what's actually playing out is there is a war of ideologies between, let's say, globalism and nationalism. And I think that is what is going on between the West and its adversaries. I think the West is through, because of Trump, projecting this idea of nationalism, and it is at war with the idea of globalism. And I diverge from others in this respect, because people will say, well, at the top of them, there's someone controlling both of them. I don't agree with that. I think it's more like gangsters vying for territory rather than being monolithically controlled by one entity. If there is one entity, you could say that entity is Satan, right? They're both guided by him, right?
Right.
But there isn't like this hierarchy.
I've heard that theory before. Yeah, I've heard that theory before. It's like kind of like you have the Lycans versus the whatever, like you have the different factions. They're both, one's a vampire, one's a wolf or a werewolf. They're basically both bad, but they fight amongst each other for world domination in a sense, right?
One is vying for an idea of empowering, let's say, nationalism or self-empowerment, and one is vying for the idea of global hierarchical order, right? And they're not fighting, they're not on the same team necessarily.
It's like that saying at the
on certain things, but they're not on the same team.
It's like that Bohemian Grove.
But neither of them is good for us necessarily.
It's like the Bohemian Grove stuff where you have they have their symbol as the owl, and they have the saying "weaving spiders," come out here or something like that. And it's like, it's almost like you wonder if like there's like different factions of these people, like that are out there, right? And one would say that if you're, it's very possible, I suppose. I mean, to say that all of them are under like one hierarchy is and under the same control and all working as like a hive mind. I mean, that seems a little more far-fetched to me than maybe factions within those and in those structures. So is it possible that this could be just something being played out on one side, but the other side knows about it, and who knows? So then my big question is like, so where do you think Trump lies in all this? What do you think his role is?
Well, I think to me it's very clear he represents the nationalist faction of this battle, you could say.
Okay.
Now, this is where people are going to say, "Oh, well, you're just a Q supporter because you sound just like Q." No, it's not that. I think Q's kind of like is this false idea of whatever Trump represents is going to bring us to the light, or something to that effect. And it's not really like that, in my opinion. It's more, it is what it is. Like Trump is just sort of he represents the opposing ideology to globalism, basically. And it's not necessarily about Q. It's just he represents that. And it's very clear to me that's what's going on with him. And then you'll say, well, what about the vaccine? What about Bill Gates? See, I think he represents the globalist side of this idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I asked you where that was going on, because I think the globalist side of this battle, they're using these more, you could call them globalist controlled areas, to propagate this idea that we need vaccines, we need a national vaccine or a world vaccine, that this virus is going to get out of control, and we need this control grid to keep it under control. But I don't think Trump's idea or his faction would agree with that necessarily. I think he's more involved in the sort of controlled demolition side of this process, because I believe the side he represents wants to take down the financial system, which the globalists basically thrive in. That's what his side is trying to do. Is I think they're trying to reset the financial order in a way.
Right. And the thing is they've got all the power to buy everything. It's like a big buy off, right? So, everything loses its value, and then they just buy up every asset left in the world because they have all the power right now. They have all the money to do it. They could buy it at pennies on the dollar,
Do you think a debt reset might be coming? Because I think it is. I think.
Well, on one hand, okay, so that's one of the positive aspects I see. Okay, is like obviously
Well,
the,
maybe
the
not. It
trillion
might not be
dollars.
positive, but it's definitely.
Well, it's positive in the sense that first off, I mean, look, that debt they hang over us. That's why I'm telling you, man, this Mandela effect and all this stuff that's going on right now with the Bible changes and, like the Lord's Prayer. I've been saying this forever, that the debt thing is forgive us of our debts, because the debt is the one thing that enslaves humanity now. It is the one thing that's over us. And the mark of the beast is the money. And because you can't buy nor sell without it. Okay. It's either in your mind, which is all you think about is gaining more of it, or you're handing it over by your hand. Okay. I mean, I understand the whole, how it's written, but I believe that the mark has always been the money, and we've all had to take the mark. Okay. In a sense. So maybe though, on the positive aspect of all this, I hope there's, I hope there is, there needs to be a financial reset to all this, because things are only going up higher and higher, and people, we can't continue, in my opinion, this system the way it is with as much debt as that we're in. Okay. And continue to move forward and thrive for our children. That's why people are dude. That's why people are not even having kids anymore. They can't afford them.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying?
And it's like,
yeah.
Battle.
I imagine. But people are literally like thinking like kids is a financial burden, and that's a sad part that we've come to now. And so with that mindset, it's not very good. And so some things I see. This is why I'm so freaking careful about how I'm going to word things and talk about them on the show, because I don't want to this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Because before, at least with 9/11, you could say that is BS. That's fake. That didn't happen. Okay, that doesn't look right. There were like aspects, why, and all this stuff we can all debate. But at least we knew the gist of it. Like, hey, something ain't right here. I see a lot not right here, but I still don't even understand like where the key players and what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because there's certain times I'm rooting for humanity here, but in other times I'm seeing like, but then I'm like, ooh, man, it's kind of dark, man. Like this could take us down a dark path. I'm like, but I don't really want to promote that idea or say that idea, because that may not be where we go. Okay. So that's all I'm saying is it's just a weird time we're living in, isn't it? I mean, everyone is
totally.
It's so all I'm saying is I urge on the side of caution. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, also in the Bible, there's a Jubilee, the word Jubilee that used to be there. It's called Jubile now. So that's another little breadcrumb there that there's, I think on the debt is some sort of debt reset, debt Jubilee. And the Q folks are saying, well, this is the plan, and it's all about the debt reset, and it's gonna make everything better. But the thing is, I don't think it's actually it's not gonna make things better. It's just I think it's gonna appear better on the surface, but I think when that happens, that's gonna be where the peace and safety. Everyone's crying, like yelling peace and safety everywhere, because I believe the debt's going to be reset. I believe that the world order that we have is going to dissolve, and that's going to be the fall of Babylon, in my opinion. And that's when the peace and safety is going to say, everyone's going to say, all right, there's no more debt. The cabal or the globalists are finally out of our hair, and we're back to the way we need to be. But that's when things go wrong, according to Scripture, in my opinion. That's when it all goes down.
That's the other thing too. It's like you have to be careful to not be deceived in these times, and that's all I'm saying is like this whole thing is so weird and so crazy, and I've seen so much that I don't really. Okay, I've seen a lot in the last month. Okay, watching this play out, and my initial reactions are usually right. Okay, typically my gut. But I got to be careful when I speak, because I don't want to talk right out of, from that level, because I could still be, a little bit wrong about my approach on things. So I've seen so much happen, like when it first started coming out of China, I got to tell you, I was like, some of these videos, I mean, I had a question like how in the heck you could sit there and film with the authorities standing right there and they didn't nab you and throw you in the van too. How did these people start getting all this information out of China? Was it meant to put it out on purpose to create the scare, to create it? And by the way, some of these people they look like they were dragging out look like dissidents. They didn't look like people who were sick. It looked like a roundup to me.
You gotta realize that the narrative at the beginning was not that it was getting so out of control that everyone was dying. The narrative was that there were some deaths and it was spreading. So you gotta just temper that, because you always have to look at what the mainstream's telling you first. The mainstream is telling you it's spreading in China. Yes, people are dying, but it's not an apocalypse. That's kind of the mainstream narrative. If people are getting sick, people are dying, but it's not like millions.
But all over social media, though, we were showing images of them, taking people, at checkpoints and filming, and that would be unheard of. In fact, where was all the videos coming out of China before this? All of a sudden, more videos were coming out of China than ever before in lockdown internet China. And so it sort of like made me think like, well, that's kind of weird that, this stuff is being promoted to some degree to create the narrative. And like I said, it could have been a lot worse than what I'm saying. Maybe they could be hiding it and it could have been a lot worse, or it wasn't as bad and they were making it worse. Now, the thing is like, I'm not there. I don't know, so that's what I say. I'm like, well, I just,
best you can. You have to deduce.
Yeah. Well, and all I'm saying is like for instance, so another video that got out was the guy who got netted, right? So I made fun of that one because that was obviously a fake. And it turns out that they had to come back and say, well, okay, too many people called it out. And then all of a sudden that one video gets labeled as a training video that got out. Well,
right.
What?
Training video.
Now it's a training video. I mean, like, it was obviously poorly done and easy to debunk and fake and tell you it was fake. Everyone saw it and no one was buying it. So, oh, that's a training video. Okay. What about the rest of them then?
Yeah, like I said, there was also, there were some respectable sources like from the Epoch Times that had reported early on that a lot more people were dying in China. And I'm not saying that that's the barometer of truth, but compared to other sources that's out there, I mean, they've been pretty spot on so many things.
Yeah.
That I've seen. So I tend to think more that the mainstream was that it was not as many people dying, and that's the story that you're supposed to stick with.
Well, what do you say about all the hospitals in New York, though? I mean, you're talking about this huge problem in New York, but people go to those hospitals in the Bronx and there's nobody there.
That's where the globalist controlled areas are trying to develop the narrative that it's out of control and that we need vaccines to stop it. So that's why you got to be.
Well, pop Bill Gates, now lately in the media, he's been lambasted because everyone's like, "You're not a doctor, dude. Shut up." We're sick of hearing from you.
Global, I mean,
yes, he is.
Him to push that narrative.
Sure.
You would expect his cronies, him and Soros, to be pushing that narrative out of globalist controlled areas. It goes with the territory.
Well,
so you don't see it happening everywhere, but you see it in these really dense globalist controlled areas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when that's why the citizen journalist is like calling it out, like, hey, this is fake. The hospitals aren't filled up here.
No.
I'm over here on the site. Look,
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might be right. This could be some sort of like, factions working, working here, battling for supremacy or control. Maybe that's happening right now. Maybe that is the issue. Very well could be. I mean, you bring up a good point. What's up?
There's one more interesting thing about it. Like I said, it kind of comes back to your end times view. I kind of think that that Trump is actually the rider of the white horse, or at least he's a shadow of that prophecy. And I say that because the way it's written, is that he was given a crown. And so we can say that's maybe Corona, right? He was given a bioweapon, and it says in that right horse passage, he goes out conquering to conquer. Well, if what I'm saying is true, then it's exactly what is happening. The whole world is really being conquered by this virus through his whatever, his presidency, his regime, whatever you want to call it. Now, that doesn't mean he's the Antichrist. Some people say, oh, the writer's the Antichrist. Well, no, it's not necessarily that. I think the Antichrist is a whole other subject matter. But as far as the prophetic imagery of the white horse rider, I think Trump very well could be that white horse rider because of how it's written and what's actually happening now. Because this Corona has conquered the world, really. Everywhere is basically on its knees. And the whole economy is basically, the world economy is being conquered right now. So that's something to think about too, is there's these little breadcrumbs now in the scriptures.
I like the Corona crown reference. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I've said this, look, I am literally at an impasse with Trump, and it's like this. Here's what I see. Either this dude, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh no, Dan, you're pro Trump. I'm not. I'm pro anybody that is going to do the work of God. Okay. If Obama or any of them, if Bush would have been, any of them, I would have been, if they do the right thing and they're good men, then I would totally be on their side. Okay. But the thing is like, I always worry, so I either feel like Trump is either going to, he's here to right this ship and do some things, through the grace of God, because God, and I know God uses people. Okay. God uses people to do things all the time. People you would never expect. Okay. So either he's going to do that, or he is literally here to, serve Satan. And that's the thing is like, could he be a great deceiver to some degree? Well, that will be seen, I suppose. But like my point is that yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That passage describes him riding with a bow without an arrow, and so that is also indicative of deception. So, or at least using deception to achieve something. So, and that doesn't mean, I look at him like a Cyrus character. Like I think he has a very specific purpose for a specific time, and he is definitely central to the end times narrative. I know it's hard for people to hear and understand that. They think he's just a goon that's just kind of lumbering around and looking like a fool. But I think he has a very central role in the end times, and a lot of that goes back to those Bible change aspects. I think they're giving us clues as to what's going on, like Trump and Pence, the last Trump administration, and then you have the rider. Now he's potentially the rider of the white horse with the crown to coat. Remember when he said, we're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning. Well, that passage says conquering to conquer, winning.
Mm-hmm.
It's too similar, to say, nah, that's just coincidence. If you're overlooking that, you're really not, I don't think you're really giving it much thought, really. So there is something very central to him, I think.
Well, but, I mean, that may be to, like more to be seen here. And I hope that, everything, I always think that I still have hope that everything's going to work its way out. I just think that we're just in this strange time right now. And I worry for people, because my worry is that people will react to what they're seeing in the media and stuff like that. They'll see people protesting and getting angry, and thus it'll make them angry. And they may go out, and real people may do stupid things, and that might, incite, things to happen where militarily or, more law enforcement is needed and things like that. And I don't want there to be a Kent State type situation happening. You know what I mean?
What's your best guess Yeah, what's your best guess as how you think it's going to go on? How long do you think it's going to go on?
That's a good one, man. I feel like it's gonna continue on for at least until May. Until the end of May. I feel like end of May we'll have a better grasp of the world. What's happening and what direction we're heading in. I think that right now we're not really even back to, people aren't even back to work. We don't know how many jobs have been affected. We don't know how many businesses have closed. We don't know anything yet. We just know that right now everything's stagnant. So, I guess we'll see.
Cars, right?
What's that?
You work on cars, right? That's your
I used to. No, I haven't in many years, but I used to. Yeah, that's what I used to do.
For some reason, I thought that was your thing. I was wondering. I was just going to ask how you getting by. With everything shut down. Are you able to work from home or whatever?
I do. I do. I do a side gig with that stuff, but I don't have my business anymore. And that's what I used to do. And then after the Mandela effect happened, it was like this thing happened and just took over my life. And then my business literally just shut down. Like no calls, no nothing. My pandemic happened 4 years ago. I've been fighting a pandemic for years. People are just catching up to me. Everyone's freaking out. I'm like, I live on nothing every month. I scrape by every month and I just do it, man, and God willing, I just, I'm able to scrape by and make it. But yeah, that's what's up. And, here and there, I pick up odd jobs and work on, people's cars. People still call me. I've had a lot of, old customers reach out to me and be like, man, I really, a mechanic, once you get a mechanic, it's kind of like a stylist. You don't want somebody else cutting your hair. You don't want that new girl that's fresh out of college because you're going to get the bowl cut. And people, when it comes to their cars in Texas, they're very particular about who touches their cars. Okay. Yeah. So I still have some, customers that still have me working and doing some stuff, and that's enough to get by, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. But yeah, all of us, man, we're just hanging in there right now, man. And, that's why we're broadcasting. And I'll tell you, dude, I appreciate the call, brother. I really do. Thank you for the great insight and really made me think about another aspect of this. And thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Hey, thanks for doing what you do, keeping the voice out there and keeping this forum up. Thank both of you, Fizzy and everyone.
Thank you, man.
Talk to you later.
All right, man. You take care, brother.
Okay, good night.
Good night. All right. Great call. 2020. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, dude. Awesome.
You forgot the kittens.
I need to show kittens. Wow.
No, it's all right.
I didn't see kitten emojis. I was waiting for the kittens. I was kind of thinking that. I was like, should I do kittens? Is this the time for kittens? Oh, let's see. Let's go to let's see. We're gonna go to Clearwater. Well, Clearwater and Stewart. Let's see. Let's go. Next up is Clearwater, Florida. Clearwater, you're on with Scare Performance. What's on your mind?
Hi. I almost fell asleep.
Is this
You're
Glow?
so lucky I didn't.
Is this Glow?
Yes.
Hang
Does
on.
it sound bad?
All right, I put her on mute. Let me go to Stewart, Florida. No, just kidding. Hold on. I'm just joking. What's up? What's up, Glow? It's good to hear from you.
Does my headset sound bad? I'm on my wireless one because I had to charge my phone.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you?
Oh no, Stuart left.
Can you hear me?
No, don't come back, Stuart. I'm sorry. I was just playing around. Stuart will probably call back. No, yeah. What's up, girl? What's on your mind?
Oh, not much.
Yeah.
I have a sore throat, so I got it. No,
Oh, I knew it. You got the hoot in.
I got the Rona. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think so.
Well, yeah. Well, just swab yourself.
I don't think so. Well, I don't think so.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even talk about
I
it
don't think I
because
actually have
You
it.
got
I don't
corona-
believe.
quarantine brain.
Well, you know, my
Yeah.
theory on this is
Mhm.
that yes, we had this bouncing around us a lot sooner. I mean, just because they came up with the test in like, I don't know, January or something, somewhere random, doesn't mean it wasn't around. And like as soon as people started coming from like all over to start traipsing to Florida and Disney World, like at the end of January, beginning of February, everybody was sick. Everybody. And everybody was complaining about how badly sick they were and like how
Mhm.
nasty it was. And everybody was traipsing to the doctor.
Sure.
And then of course, like normal flu seasons, you kind of like, it starts getting hotter and warmer and everybody kind of falls out of it. We get our, you know, like it's, you know, we start getting, we get our I can't even think anymore. I almost fell asleep.
You
Anyway,
sleep. Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, you
I
get into
think that we're kind of adamant.
you get in the summer season and the flus go away. We get it. And here in Texas, see, it
Right.
doesn't work for us. See, we're oh my gosh, the allergies are ridiculous right now. And now I'm walking out
That's what I was
in
gonna say.
public. Yeah, I walk out in public. My eyes are my eyes are a little red, and my contacts are bugging, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I gotta get a new prescription on my contacts. I just do. I
Yeah,
already
That's-
they're just not working anymore.
sadly,
Yeah, after a month, they're not
Sadly-
working, or 2 months. Yeah.
Well, mid-March, we had the big tree pollen coming down, and I think that was. I mean, everybody looked like they had corona then. I mean,
Mm.
but like now, it seems like every time I go out, you know, you go to the grocery store, whatever, more people wearing masks. They're all late to put up the shields and everything like that. And I'm just thinking, how many people are even getting this anymore? You know, like it's not really very prevalent, and it hasn't spread. Like they were saying, like right after the spring break and everything, oh, we were going to be the next epicenter, and it was
Mhm.
going to go crazy, and you know, basically all of Florida was going to die, and it never happened. It never occurred. And so, like last week, I don't know, our sheriff is so mad that they even shut down the beaches at all. And so he finally was like, open them up because I'm going to stop. I think he basically went in and said, I'm going to stop even covering it anymore. Like, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to send any police anymore. So you might as well, you know, open them back up because I'm not bothering anymore. But they did it with this like weird thing, like you can go there, you can go in the water, you can go for walks, you can go work out, but you can't sunbathe. I'm like, what does sunbathing have to do with it? What, maybe it burns off the corona? I mean, I don't get that whole thing. And then today they said like Alabama opened up their beaches and everybody's flocking there. Now, I don't know where they get the pictures from. Supposedly it's supposed to be a picture of Alabama, right? But it didn't look like anybody's flocked onto the beaches. It just looked like a few people randomly walking around or going into the beach. I'm like, it didn't exactly look like a spring beach, you know, scenery or whatever. It just kind of looked like the residents that were kind of local said, okay, we can go to the beach and we're going to go and hang out for a little bit. I mean, it's just, I think at some point people are just going to have to be like, okay, I'm going to risk it or not risk it. And
honestly, I just don't think people are. I just don't see. I just don't see a lot of sick people. I just don't see it, and I'm not hearing about it, and I'm not seeing massive amounts of people that are talking about like, oh, this person, that person, and my cousin, and I'm not hearing any of that. I mean, it's just weird. It's like we're all afraid of something. That, very few of us know anybody that has it, and we're all afraid of it. And it's like,
the problem,
good Lord.
I think the biggest problem too is that the national media kind of comes out of like New York and DC, and those are places that are actually been hit with it more. So yeah, you know the news anchor that, oh, I have corona on this, that, you know, they've seen it, they've heard of it, they see people in their offices and whatever. They definitely have more of a spike of that population. But that doesn't mean the rest of the country is like that. I mean,
the only thing I've gotten out of this whole thing.
I mean, how many people are in Wyoming? 5 people are in Wyoming. Why would you shut the state down for anything?
All I can tell you is that I'm glad that Nipple Rings Cuomo is not my governor. Okay.
Oh my God, is that funny?
Did you see the nipple rings? It was weird.
What? It's
Yeah,
so weird.
yeah, he has
his
weird
ex-girlfriend does
nipples.
come out, he doesn't have nipple rings. He doesn't have nipple rings. I'm like,
I don't know
okay,
what that
he
is under
doesn't.
his shirt,
He
dude. He's got
doesn't.
some, dude has some strange
He's
nips.
probably that freak that goes to the parties and like
Yeah.
gets like chain clamped and dragged around by some like dominatrix.
Hey man, he probably takes the meat hooks, you know, like people
Remember
that get
how they said his brother had it?
weird. Huh?
Remember how
What?
they said that his brother had the corona, Dan?
Yes.
That was proven to be fake. His brother
Well,
didn't
didn't
get
he do a broadcast where he's talking about how well he feels and how much
it.
better
Yeah,
he is?
and he was outside with his family and friends, no mask,
going
hanging out.
Go ahead, Glow.
He
What's up?
said he had corona,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
he was like out riding his bike and stuff, and that's
Mhm.
where he got confronted by some guy or whatever. And now supposedly the son has it too.
Oh
Like
God.
his son got it, and I was like,
Well, you got it.
well, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me started with those two. I mean, it's just like, oh, I'm just glad. Thank God. Okay, we don't have a Cuomo here in Texas. And we used to have Steve, or what is it? Steve Perry? No, not Steve Perry. That's the dude. Not his name was Rick Perry. Rick. Yeah, Rick Perry. Oh
Yeah,
man,
he was so dumb.
Rick was
Like, I didn't think
yeah, he was
I didn't
special.
think anybody could replace Bush on the dumb scale, but I mean,
Are you kidding?
yeah,
Bush rocked.
Perry,
Bush was smart. No, you
no.
don't understand. Bush didn't turn into Mr. Magoo until he became president. When Bush was our governor, Bush was smart as a whip, sharp. He was a good business. I mean, he seemed really legit. Then I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna run for president. Shoot, that'd be awesome to have Bush as president because he was a fine governor. Had no problem with him as governor, really. I mean, the governor doesn't do much anyway, but I'm just saying, like from what I knew of him, okay, Bush seemed fine. It wasn't until he became president, all of a sudden, I'm like, who the hell is Howdy Doody? Did he have a stroke? Like, what happened to this guy? Did they lobotomize him or something? Or like, did they I don't know.
A part of it was that image, like, I'm a Texan, even though the family comes from like blue aristocratic Connecticut, you know. So they had like this, I'm from Texas and I gotta draw, and I'm like, y'all from Connecticut and you're on yachts most of the time. What the hell are you talking about? Like you didn't have a dad or something or grandfather that wasn't who was like Hitler. But, you know, forget all that. So I think some of it was an image, but I also think he was kind of stupid. I think he was
as president.
He wasn't imaginative. Like, okay, so he was already born into wealth and he was already born handed everything. I don't think he was very imaginative. I don't think he really cared about like learning things in school and stuff. Like, I doubt he's ever read our Constitution. I don't think he cares about any of it.
No.
Someone just handed him and said, hey, run for it. And there's enough people around him, like Cheney and everything else, to actually run the country. So he just went out there, howdy doody. And like governors, they don't really do much either once they get into office. They just sign bills.
No, Bush was weird. I'm just saying I'm saying what was portrayed to us before all this stuff, when, you know, before the 9/11 stuff, before that, you know, like I didn't start working until 2003-ish, right? So, you know, before that, he was our governor and then he became president. And, you know, after that, the next thing you know, we got Bushisms. And like I said, it's just been a downhill spiral with that dude. But yeah, he was, I mean, when he was here, I mean, from what I saw, like early on, he seemed fine. I mean, he didn't seem weird or anything. And I don't know, I'm just saying, now he got Cuomo. And
I don't know, maybe he went back to drinking, who knows? I mean,
yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows, really?
Incidents and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I heard all kinds of strange things about these guys. Every president has some weird stuff in the closet. I mean, the coke and cocaine stuff that Bush did and Obama is legendary, apparently. Not to mention the weird guy that came out, like when Obama was running for president, and like literally had a press conference saying that he had sex with him, you know? And nobody seemed to talk about that. It's under congressional testimony.
So
yeah, I'm just saying, like, whatever. I mean,
so weird.
Whatever, dude. It's just some weird stuff. Okay, like there's some weird stuff with all these guys for sure. So, no, I don't believe in any politician. Believe me. That's why I can't really. That's why I still am like, I don't trust Trump entirely. I don't trust it. What's going on? I mean, believe me, I want everything to be all right, but he's still a politician. So I'm like, it's like, can't really.
I think there's something to be said about factions, within the elite groups or whatever of,
possibly
who gets to dominate. And I definitely think Trump is on one side of that whole billionaire faction of whatever. I mean, he's friends with everybody. He's already a billionaire, so he's already done whatever he's had to do to get on his knees, and his family's had to do whatever they've had to do to be in that category anyway. So there's not really like buying him off, and he's already a big enough character that he didn't really need to be a president. So I don't necessarily think he cares that much about, like, I don't feel like he cares about pissing people off. Like, he just basically decides to do what he thinks is right, or what people think is right. And I think the right people need to be in front of him for him to do like the proper right things. Like he loves to listen to Tucker Carlson, and that's like why we didn't go and bomb the hell out of Syria, because Tucker didn't. Because
Tucker,
and he's like,
because Tucker saved us. Tucker did it. Tucker told the president, no, Donald, don't do it.
When he first was in there, Tulsi Gabbard would go and talk to him and tell him, let's start world wars and stuff like that. He'd listen, and then his whole time team banished her from going to the White House because they didn't like the way he would change his mind or not do war strategies when she was around him and stuff. They definitely try to control who's around him in a room and has his ear. So I think, so the thing is the whole back to worker people. The whole back to worker people or open it up people, this is where I say the whole divisionary thing is just ridiculous, and it really just shows to propagate how much the divisions, because you have that open up, and then you have this other side that they almost want to hide behind the open uppers, because if you actually showed those people so there's a whole section of general strike people, and it consists of people who are who are working at Amazon or Target. I don't know if you guys know, there was a general strike, and supposedly people from Target, Amazon, Walmart, Whole Foods, I might be missing one of them. We're basically supposed to have a walkout, noon and not go. And then it was supposed to be other people don't go and use those stores. So even if they're open, don't go to your Whole Foods today. Don't order from Amazon today.
Yeah.
It's basically a general strike to show, you should.
When was this supposed to take place?
Today, May Day.
Oh.
This is Labor Day around the world is May Day.
Missed that strike, I guess. Oops.
Yeah. So, and part of the general strike is also this part of a rent and mortgage freeze type of thing. However they want to figure that out, but it should be because people aren't getting people aren't even getting their unemployment checks at this point. My ex signed up for 4 weeks ago and hasn't even gotten one check yet.
Right.
So, and this system's just getting clogged. This is not designed for this many millions of people to be on a state unemployment roll, And so, you kind of need something to halt the harm that's happening. I mean, and you see lines of people lining up for $30 vouchers or a free bag of food from places, or at food banks and stuff, because they haven't worked for a month and a half, and that $1,200 stimulus check, some people have gotten it, some people haven't, and some people just I just got mine today, but some people have already been done and spend it, and there's nothing else supposedly coming for months or whatever. So it's either open it up and let people go back to work or whatever. But then people don't really have the money to go spend at a restaurant or go to vacation.
Well, let me stop you for a second. I did see a rant by a guy who was talking about your home mortgage and whatever. He's just put a freeze on it and roll that money they want to. Right. What they want to do right now is they'll stop it, but then after 3 months they want all 3 months of payments. Dude, if I got no money coming in, how am I going to pay you 3 months worth of payments after 3 months? It's so stupid. These greedy bastards. So this is greed at its worst. So it's whatever. It's here's what this one guy said, and he made a lot of sense. He was just roll that that extra 3 months on the back end of the note. So basically, if you have a car note or you have anything else, roll it off or whatever. So you have to pay an extra 6 months, whatever, at the end, at the end, that's all you'll
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
All right.
That's the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be. They still get their money. There's no need to come foreclose on your house or repo your car because you're just waiting to get back to work. And they could do this. And this is something.
Small businesses.
Well, and see, and this is where, like, this one guy says all this and it makes so much sense. And it's like, why the hell can't our people in power or, and politicians think like this? Why does it always have to be like some crazy scheme or whatever? Okay, let's just pump up $6 trillion. We'll sign when we don't even have any money for this at all. But if we want to put everything on hold, let's put it on hold and just roll it over on the back end of the notes. And that way we can all pay it later and we can get over this and get back to work and do what we need to do. It really makes a lot of sense. And, and honestly, you wouldn't even need to give out as much money as they need to give out right now. You could get people back in, back to work quicker.
Exactly.
I just think that it's crazy. And I think they are, honestly, the first caller when 2020 called in, I do think this is a global reset of the economy in a lot of ways. I mean, you see it happening right in front of you. I mean, this cannot be good for the country. What do you think is going to come out of all this? I mean, at the end of it, it is not going to be pretty. There are a lot of people are going to be out of work or not working anymore.
This is where I say that the people who are like open it up because they're like literally starving, they don't know how to like subside themselves and they don't know how to like pay their mortgage and whatever. Instead of being like on the open up side, like freaking out, they need to like be joining in with the general strike people and saying, look, at this reset, we basically all agree this is basically a reset. Now, how do we want that narrative to go? Do we want to like start canceling debts? I mean, we just gave out $6 trillion. You don't think you couldn't have paid off our credit cards and said, "Oh, you guys don't have to worry about this anymore"? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you? I
think they want to destroy the dollar to bring forth a.
Funneled it to the top. They funneled all the way to the top. So you can have fire sale of everything.
If my gut is correct, I'm going with my gut on this. I feel like there's going to be a global reset of the dollar. Okay, to devalue the currency to pretty much nothing, then implement a new digital currency at some point in its place. I think this is this is when Trump signed that, it's stimulus. That was the death of the dollar. Well, now if we're playing in the beast system's money anyway, and we need it to buy or sell, well then, it is what it is, and they're going to bring out a new system. Now, what they'll do with the debt, that's a good question. Well, a lot of it's going to have to be liquidated because people won't have the money to pay back that debt. And so, we've been needing this for a long time. The problem is that they keep propping up the economy with fiat currency. Okay, that is monopoly money that had no value to it at all. And we've been playing this game forever. And we can't continue down this road. I mean, ultimately, it has to be corrected. And this is in my opinion, I'm not saying this is factual, but in my opinion, I feel like this is the big global reset. This is a big global financial reset happening right now. And it's going to change things across the board in many ways. And we are all hunkering down, waiting to see what happens, and a lot of powerful people are playing this game. And what that means for you, me, and all the regular people out there that are just working hard and just trying to survive every month, and things like that, I do not know yet. Okay. But yeah, I do worry. I do worry that it's going to be something bad, but it could also be something really great at the end of it, which means like the removal of a lot of debt and things that's been hanging over us forever, enslaving humanity, which if that happens, wow, that's a big one. That's a big thing because that's what enslaves us all, the debt. And it's a way of we might be actually moving into, and I say this loosely, a new age of understanding of maybe thinking about things a little differently now. Maybe by living with less, people are going to realize that you don't need so much anymore. You don't need to spend the kind of money you were spending on certain things. Maybe doing, getting back to basics on certain things is a good thing. So maybe we need this.
Well, the idea of capitalism anyways is a stupid idea. When we have,
what would you put in its place?
Let's go with this. one globe. It's one globe, and continuously tell you to use
or celestial
and make
disc
money
for
off
our
of that
flat Earth fans.
every
Okay,
3 months or 4
Uh-huh.
months or whatever. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you can't buy a new washing machine every day. You can't buy a new car every day. You can't buy,
What would you put in
have
its
to have a new
place?
phone every 2 years. The idea
What do you
is,
want? What do you want instead of capital? We don't have real capitalism, though.
Okay,
It's
so
not.
we don't really. I know we
Yeah.
don't. We socialize all the wealthy people's losses, and we kill all ourselves. But in the general reality, think about what they just did. They
Okay.
just told the entire world. They just told all of humanity, your lives are more important than going to work, and we will try to take care of you while we tell you to stay at home because it's more important people don't go get sick and die, right? Well, if that's the general thought, and that's what everybody who says stay at home and be safe and da-da-da, all these people, how do you come back out of that and say, no, you can't get treatment for your cancer. You don't have a place to live anymore. You can't go get food at the grocery store and stuff. It's very hard to tell somebody to go die from starvation while at the same time you told them to stay home for a pandemic. They kind of screwed themselves in the foot with this one. They just said humanity is more important. And on top of it, with humanity staying at home and not using as much and not massively producing a bunch of crap that you don't need, a bunch of Chinese cheap toy trinkets that you don't need, the air is actually clear over like Los Angeles for the first time in forever.
Yeah, that's great. No, I get that, but like everyone's guilty. It's not just buying Chinese crap. It's the it's people with money who had who bought iPhones who learned that there were suicide nets outside the iPhone plant. Sorry, iPhone users. You knew it. You still didn't. You still bought. You still wanted that new iPhone, didn't you?
Mine's an 8, so it's pretty old. So don't even tell me I went out and
all right, but some poor Chinaman tried to kill himself after building that phone. I hope you know that. Just kidding.
Well, they probably got Samsung.
Are you coming for me, Dan?
We don't talk about that because God forbid.
I'm kidding. I'm just no, but that was crazy when you saw that. Like, damn, yeah, but nets outside your plant, like how horrible.
Now at the same time, not only that, we've just said humanity's better, right?
I say that here's my problem is that
well, right?
I think that we
now that it's good to die for a job.
Listen, I say that the reason why this is the reason why we're in this problem is that we all had our mind set on the dollar. We all had the mindset on the money, and we wanted more and more and more to buy more and more stuff, and we just got out of control.
I don't necessarily say that.
I think a lot of people did. Keeping up with the Joneses, people buying.
There are a few greedy people out there, but most people work 2 jobs to pay their rent.
Yeah, I know, but there are people out there that are just
try to make it month to month.
Hey, there are people out there that have really lost their minds. What I'm saying is, why are you paying for? Like, there's so many things you can cut back on, that people don't need. You don't need. Why do you need to spend $120 a month on satellite service? You don't need that. You go,
it shouldn't be that expensive.
Well, it is that expensive because the devaluation of the dollar.
If I lived in African country, you think it's going to cost me $120 a month for that satellite? No, it's not. They rip the crap out of it.
Yeah, but you don't make the same type of you don't make the same kind of currency though. Your dollar isn't your money in Africa isn't the same. It doesn't have the same value. So therefore, just depending on where you live. It goes further if you bring dollars, but if you're in their country using their money, it doesn't have the same value. So therefore, you could probably, like I said, it's a different conversion, right? So for instance, you could be over there and it could cost less for sure. It's not going to cost the same amount in American dollars as in theirs because it's not 1-to-1. There's always a currency conversion. But I'm just saying, like,
if they weren't making a profit, they wouldn't even provide services.
I'm saying like right now, people are
making profit off of us.
People are doing good things. Okay. They're reevaluating. There's some good out of this. And that's like reevaluating what's important in your life and what's important. Like, what do you really need? Like, and what, like I said, and you're at home, people are at home with their families again and hanging out. There's a lot of, positive aspects to all this. So I think that's a good thing, you know. But I am, you know, like I said,
that's
I don't
the
want
other
to. I
side
don't want to
of
see
things,
business.
But on the same side,
Yeah. Here's
we
my
also
here's
say
my
that things
problem.
like it
Here's
needs
my
to run back up again.
my biggest fear is this is like what I didn't like was that they closed all the mom and pop shops, all the mom and pop businesses. They closed those down first and let, you know, a
You
quote
can't catch it at
essential.
Walmart, Dan.
That's what I'm saying, right? They let people in Walmart walk around all day long, spreading it like crazy. But like, you know, if you had a little business or something selling whatever, you had to shut down. Now, I didn't feel like that was really fair. I feel like that's a way to destroy the middle class of America. And I gotta tell you, something seemed wrong with that. Okay, I don't see how a few people walking into a store every day versus hundreds or thousands is better to close the one with a few, you know, with a few dozen or a few hundred. It just doesn't make any sense to me. While I could walk into Walmart and shop and, you know, pass it around willy nilly if I want to. So that was, you know, a little bit strange to me. Just saying. So that's one thing I didn't
No,
like
it's
about
definitely
them.
there's definitely an agenda for people who are on the other side of the spectrum. I mean, most of that $6 trillion package went to the very wealthy top. Why? Because then they're going to go and try to buy up all the, you know, the real estate of America. On the other side of it,
Yeah,
you know, you have a lot of people.
like I said,
that
there's.
are like,
This is
stay at
why it's
home,
so
be safe.
confusing.
You know,
This is why I
those
get so
people
frustrated with this
also-
topic. Yeah, I see on
understanding that
multifaceted ways that we could go with this. I could see it
There-
being good and bad.
there-
That's yeah. What's that?
Okay, so there's an agenda, but on the other side, there's more of us than there are of them. And if we've just been told and people have this idea in their head that, you know, our safety is more essential and people being safe and being with their families is a greater value than anything you could buy in any store or any wedding you could be having planned or anything like that, right? Everything's put on hold except for, you know, basically going to a grocery store and essential workers, right? So what is it that we can come out with on the other side of this? I mean, basically, it's a whole different thought level on everybody's brain because it doesn't make sense to restart everything the way it was going because it wasn't working. So we have to like throw out, we have to throw out even our thoughts of how we lived our entire lives and what people were being taught. You know, like you have to be beyond that thought of it, like to say, how does it work? How do we make 8 billion people live and coexist and not ruin our environment and not like, you know, it's weird where places are being hit, right? Nursing homes, so the old people are leaving out of this world. And also the slaughterhouses? I mean, why are slaughterhouses being hit? It seems like a strange place to be hit in the middle of Nebraska. I mean, nobody else.
I don't think it's because of Corona, though.
Right? So like, okay, so these slaughterhouses are being shut down. Why? Because it's one of the worst freaking things in the whole entire world. Like if you ever actually walk through one of those places, you probably become a vegan for the rest of your life. It's that.
I don't think about it. No, I swear to God. No, you're absolutely right. I will say this to everyone who's vegan out there. I understand why you are. Okay.
I applaud you too.
I applaud you. I understand why you are. I'm sorry. I cannot do it at this point in time. I love chicken. Okay. But the point is that I understand. Okay. I've seen the videos. It's absolutely horrendous. It's awful watching that happen. And I think I block it out. I just don't think about it because it's so horrible. But it's absolutely terrible. Yes, you're right. And it's a terrible thing. Yeah. And so, wow. Yeah, I've seen those videos before.
Those energetically dead, unspirited animals die that way.
You're probably right. No, on a spiritual level, our food is so tainted on a spiritual level because of the way they harvest our because if we were doing it right,
everything, even the vegetables,
if we were doing it
well,
you might be right. I don't know about the vegetables. There's that, and there's also what is it that goes around every once in a while? There's like every once in a while they get
E. coli.
E. coli and all that stuff. I still haven't seen sprouts at my store for like 4 years. I don't know where those went. Anyway, I used to love alfalfa sprouts. I can't find them anymore. No, but you're right. Listen, I think energetically on a spiritual level, what they do to the animals is horrible, and it's probably really bad for us. It really is, because the way they're treated, the way they're killed, we're not doing it in a humane way. And if we eat meat and stuff like that, we should really truly probably be eating meat like on special occasions, maybe a lot less than we eat it now, which is like a lot of people eat it every meal. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, we probably should. Okay, I'm not advocating that people stop eating meat or anything like that. I'm not trying to, get on my high horse here. I'm just saying, I think we should. Well, this is another thing that's happening right now with all this, is that every meal I have, I'm very appreciative of it. I'm happy. I'm thanking God for that, because, there's a time where I could see in the not too distant future that we could have a world where, that meal you just had a month ago is a lot less than you're having, in the future. And, it could go that way. I'm not saying it will, but, I'm saying we need to really, we need to appreciate what we got.
The very wealthy are buying up large lands of like where they have like fresh aquifers, fresh water, places that still have fresh water. Why? Because they feel water war is going to be our next massive war to go get.
You know what? If they wanted people to pick up their guns, if they wanted a real civil war, they would start that crap with the water. I'm not going to lie. You start messing with people's water, okay, the life source of the world, you're asking for a war. Sorry. Truth be told. I mean, people will. Well, I'm talking about if you start saying, like I heard about certain cities let corporations move in and take over their water, municipal water. I mean, who in the hell would allow a corporation from some god-awful, state to come into your state and just take over your municipal water supply? Like, they give a rat's ass. They're just there to make money, and the water was horrible, and it was all this stuff, well, Nestle's evil as hell.
Nestle's been buying it on Nestle from forever, and then selling it for $1 something a bottle forever.
The Nestle, when I had my business, when I had my business open, the Nestle people came to me and they're like, I can't remember their water. They have a water outfit through Nestle that, they distribute water.
Nestle, but they'll also like have Zephyr Hills
but it's something else. It's like, it's not Ozarka. It's something else. The other Sparklets, I think, is theirs. But anyway, they came to my office and they're like, we want to, supply you with water. And like, we're part of the Nestle Corporation. And I looked at this flyer, and there had to be like 50 companies on this thing. And I'm like, you're part of this huge conglomerate of corporate water? I'm like, I told him, I said, get the hell out of here. Get out of here, man. No, I am not about to buy your corporate water. Because I'd watched that video where that one dude from Nestle was like, if we controlled the water supply, we could, it's like, this guy was evil, man. I'm like, that guy is like, he's not good. You gotta watch him. Make sure he doesn't breed. Make sure that guy doesn't breed. Like, that mindset, like controlling the water from people's water, you're an a-hole. And I think that when I saw that, I told him to leave. Get out of my shop. Yeah, I don't want really any corporations. I want more independent businesses and things like that and all that. I'm really for that. So who knows? Maybe through all this, maybe we'll get more of that. Maybe right now, unfortunately, in order to get there, this had to happen. But it would be nice to see more of that. My little.
I've heard of one thing. I've heard of one thing massively happening, and I don't think it's so necessarily true with us, because a lot of us have already been there. But because people have been forced to sit at home and kind of be with themselves and with their thoughts, and they've probably gone through all the Netflix blogs anyways, they kind of have to force themselves to value themselves and their lives and what they like to do and what they don't like to do. And I'm not so sure so many of these people who are sitting at home want to go back into a cubicle. They've had all this time to spend in fresh air and out in life with families. And I don't
remember what I talked about, Fizzy?
Want to go right back into 50 or 60 hours in a box anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you know what? You're speaking my language, sister.
It really is.
Hey, let me tell you, I had a theory.
Don't.
Come on, Fizzy. I can't share my theory.
What
Come on.
Come Do it. You're not gonna like it.
There's gonna be more people like us.
No, I had this crazy theory. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, all right, listen to this theory. Okay, this is for all you girls, right? So basically, what it is I had this wild theory that just popped in my head. Now I just came up with all this. I was like laughing. I told Fizzy, and she's like, her mouth is like, I'm sure wide open, going, "Oh my god!" So I said, well, Trump being like Mr. like total alpha male, here he is, basically this whole Corona thing was nothing more than a way to get you apple biters back at home, okay, and appreciating what it is to be a good homemaker, okay, so that so what's happening now is all these girls are learning how to cook again, and we can't tell you guys go back to the kitchen. We can't tell you. Well, there's some, but see, here's the thing. Most of the women have gone, a lot of women have decided they want to, rush out there and live that corporate dream. I have a feeling, I was saying like, oh, after this, how many girls are going to really want to go back out and like work in an office with a bunch of people? Icky. Like, no, like they don't want to get some coronavirus or whatever. I'm just saying a lot of girls won't want to do it. And then some will, some won't. I'm not saying that not all of them, but I was joking with Fizzy and I said, what if this was a huge ploy to finally like right now, we're having a generation of kids that don't want to even have kids. We have they don't want to be married. They don't want to have kids.
I don't know if they don't want to have kids or if they just can't afford them. I mean,
no, there's that too. So this is my theory is like, maybe it's to knock everything back to a society where we can actually have one person working and supporting the household. Okay. And you can have this ideology again. And I was just joking with Fizzy about it. And so anyway, that was my theory, is that it was a way to, because it was like, guys, we got to get these girls back in the house, raising kids and taking care of the house. We don't want
to, mansplaining and your toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. See, well, no, look, see, I think it was it might, this is going to work though. I'm telling you, man, watch a lot of women do not want to go back. And they're like, now they're looking at the whole corporate thing. Like,
you have not seen the Facebook posts of the girls complaining that they have to homeschool these terrible children they raised. I think it's going to be less children.
Their fault because they weren't at home raising them. Did that come out? I'm sorry. Did that? Just kidding. I have to pick on you girls. It's your fault. Them kids are bad.
Yeah, well, in some cases it is.
What? Huh?
In some cases it is a lot of the parents' fault. Like the person I'm thinking of specifically is just like throw the iPad at the kid and keep them entertained. That kind of parenting.
See, I doubt. Listen, there was a woman who was at my shop one day, and I told you the story where she wanted to buy her young daughter she wanted to get her son an iPhone, and her son was only like 5 or 6, and she wanted to give him a smartphone, and I'm like, why do you want to give him a phone? Because so and so, he's got a friend who has one, and I'm like, so what? I'm like, do you ever want to ever spend any substantial time with children ever again? Hey, listen, if I had babies, okay, I would be raising them. Them kids would be playing with abacuses, or they'd be playing with like puzzles and Rubik's cubes. That's right. We're going 80s, baby. An abacus. Yeah, they're going to use an abacus. I said it.
Nobody has. Where would you even get one of those? You're ridiculous.
I don't know. Shush. You don't know. There's yard sales. Back up.
No, we're not allowed garage sales right now, Dan.
I know, but I would have had it before then.
How dare you have 2 people in your yard when they can just go to Walmart instead?
Can you have I was going to say, man, I really want to do a yard sale. This is a perfect time. Everybody's home. I can't, right? No. You think they'll come shut me down?
You can only have 10 people surrounding you at once, so I suppose you could probably have one.
They've already announced in New York the garage sales are closed. I don't know.
I wonder if they're. I don't know. I don't know about Texas, but it probably is a no. I would imagine, like, if I did have one and I was like defiant, I wonder if it would be like a Ruby Ridge situation. Just kidding. I don't know if that would happen. But yeah, that was my crazy
I don't
theory.
know.
Was like
I
it was a
I
way.
do
It was
believe
a.
we need.
I was looking at the masculine and feminine thing, and I was like,
I
what
told
if
you
this is
not to
just a
put
way to
that out into the world. So you
hey,
can
hey, hey, hey. I was just, I was,
get yourself
hey, I'm
canceled,
halfway
Dan.
joking here. What?
You're gonna
I
get
feel
yourself
for it. I
canceled.
just want to do the live. I'll stay at home. I don't care. I like to
See?
read, but
There you go. There you go.
I
That's what I'm
want to
saying.
be a
Girls,
housewife too, but
girls right now are baking as we speak. They're reading cookbooks again. They're online looking up recipes. I mean, this hasn't happened in a long time for a lot of people. Just saying.
I
It's a
made a
good thing.
cake, Dan. You're not getting no cookies
You know what?
for a long time.
Hey, listen, Fizzy, listen. You know, and truth be told, I mean, I'm baking too. I'm cooking over here. I'm doing my thing too. Don't worry. Okay, I'm baking along with you gals. Okay. In fact, I got a cake mix I got to work on. Got some
A cake
frosting.
mix, Dan.
Yeah, cake
You gotta
mix.
make it
What?
from scratch. What
That's how you bake a
doing?
cake.
What are you
What are you talking
doing?
about? Are you talking about you just like get it like how do you put
You
all the
hate,
stuff in?
you hate modern conveniences, and then you're like, I got a cake mix. No, you gotta make it from
I got to
scratch.
mix. That is scratch, isn't it?
No.
Oh, what's scratch? You're talking about like just like flour
Butter,
and start
flour,
butter
vanilla.
and extract and all
You
that
gotta
stuff.
grow the vanilla yourself and then peel it.
Well, I haven't gone. I guess I haven't done that. Okay, so Betty Crocker isn't scratch.
No.
That's something I need to learn. Okay, all right. Oops. Guess I need to work on my baking skills too. But anyway, I'm trying. I'm trying to learn. So Glow, you still with us?
so my wisdom to stay happy and positive for the week. Just think happy and positive thoughts. You know, like it's not gonna fall down. We are on a reset. We're gonna reset to the positive. We're gonna come out on the other side of it less stressed, happier, and well off and well adjusted. And that's the way we just gotta keep thinking about it. Don't put those negative thoughts out there. We're gonna take our guns. We're gonna take our guns. No, we don't have to think that way. We can just think that this is a way to all become a worldwide
didn't think I
happy
sounded like
family.
that, but okay, all right. No, I agree. I know. Well, thank you, Glow, and we appreciate it. And yeah, you're right. We need to stay positive. I know it's tough sometimes, and with everything going on, but that's why we're here. So, hey, thanks for the call, and you have a wonderful night. Okay.
You too. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Glow. Take care. All right, that was Glow. Glow, thank you.
I thought she was going to yell at you for that theory of yours. Well, it's just a theory, but it does say a lot about
theory. It was just some crazy, like, I was like, because I was thinking about like the outcome of all this. Like, I just think like a lot of women who have kids and a family, you know, that are, listen, here's the issue, right? Right now, we have to have women and men both working to support a household. But this is the way our society is. I mean, if you want anything in this life, or at least the nicer things, she has to work too. I'm saying, and I'm offering up, like, here's the olive branch. I'm saying, wouldn't it be nice to not have to have that? Wouldn't it be nice to have a world where guys want to work most of the time? I mean,
it'd be nice to have a world where guys even wanted to marry, Dan, but we can't have nice things.
Now, you find some good, hardworking men, and they will be the married types. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Be back at it again. No, I'm just thinking like the reason I say this is because I just think like a lot of women who are like concerned about their families and concerned about this probably don't want to just rush right back out to work in some place where people could potentially still be sick or whatever. It would be weird for them. And I think they're just looking out for their families. Men like myself, we're like, you know, we don't care. We're like, men don't even women have to tell us to go to the hospital, go to the doctor. Hey, have you done your checkup, sweetheart? Oh, yeah, no, I forgot about that. Like, women care about our health. We don't care about health.
We have to mother you and the children.
Well, that's why we need you guys. Jeez, if we didn't have you all, we'd be idiots. We'd be dead. Because men would not go to the hospital. They would not go get checked out. What's that?
We got to work as a pair. Men can reach the tall things, and we can do stuff too. I think it's that one-sided way of thinking is dead forever. But it's not a bad thing to want to have to take care of somebody like
I'm just
my
saying,
mom.
like,
My
I
mom
feel
didn't work when we
a
were little,
result of this.
and she
I'm not
went
saying I
back to work
wanted
when
it.
she was like 10.
Yeah. I'm not saying I would necessarily am looking forward to this or I want it or anything. I'm just saying I think it's maybe a sort of a shift in our thinking because of it. And one of those shifts is that we probably will have, less women ready to just rush out there to get back in the workforce because they're worried about their own health, the health of their children, and the health of their families. I think women care about that stuff more than men. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a fair statement. Would you agree? Not that men don't care. I'm just saying, women worry about it more. Wouldn't you think so? Guys are always out there like, we're crazy. We're like, yeah, Myers. Yeah, psh, I'll go work. Let's see who's calling.
I was just waiting. I was waiting for
You're gonna let me hang, are you? You're gonna let me hang? You're just like, dude, just keep on, Dan. You want to bring this topic up. I love it. Hey, I'm just sharing thoughts, people. Just sharing thoughts.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's nothing in stone here. Oh, we got Northbrook, Illinois. Let's see who this is. Northbrook, you're on with Scared Performance. What's on your mind? Hello, you're on the show. Hello? Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going good. We talked a couple weeks ago, and I was a little loose. I'm a little bit better now.
Are you? Oh, yes, I remember you, sir. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Are you are in Illinois, right?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago.
You're in Chicago. Nice. Well, how's Chicago doing? That's a pretty crazy place. Pretty big city, man. You guys doing all right out there?
We're doing good. It's pretty much normal.
Is it?
Unless you want to not be.
Okay. Well, I mean, are you were you still working, or how is it for you?
No. I actually work in a restaurant, so I have been told not to come to work.
Ah, that's tough. Okay. So what
it's tough, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, that's good. So what's on your mind tonight, man? I mean, you've been listening to the show. Anything you want to talk about?
Well, there's been something that's happened.
Okay. Like
one of my roommates.
Yeah.
One of my roommates, he has a baby's mama.
Okay.
And the mom passed away over the weekend. And so he has to move from Seattle to Chicago. And my roommate is on the trek to bring him here.
Oh, and she passed away because of what?
It was no COVID.
It wasn't COVID.
It was an aneurysm that sparked a stroke that led to a heart attack.
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And she how old was she?
She's around my age, which puts her around 38 to 40.
Wow.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know exactly.
I've heard.
I didn't want to press any information.
So how old is the child?
He's 14.
14. And has he been in direct contact with the child growing up, or gotten to see him?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like she's meeting him for the first time. Okay.
We've been roommates for about 5 years now, and he's spent every summer with us.
Okay.
So
good.
Good. He knows what Chicago is.
No, that's good. So you're about to have a house guest, huh? That's cool.
Oh, it's it's gonna get weirder than that, and that's just, I can't imagine, like, with the comfort that I have.
Yeah.
Of someone coming in is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how many other people can accept that.
Well, I would
I
look
think
at it
it's,
like that's a blessing. I mean,
that
that you should look at it
I'm
as a
just
blessing
concerned that
to be able
many
to.
people either won't have that.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. I mean, having it, I don't know, at 14 years old, that's just such a fun time. When these kids are growing up, 14 is great. I mean, you could have them at other times. It's not so much fun. And 14 is a great age. And I could just see, I mean, you should look at it like, hey, like you could be like a big uncle to this child,
I get that completely.
Yeah.
And that's why I was cutting loose a couple of weeks ago. Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be something that's going to be recorded for me. But I don't know, like, for the child, this is going to be something that they've never experienced before.
Mm.
And I've gone through, I was born in 1980, so I caught the Challenger on the TV, and I caught a shock and awe, and I've been through some stuff, but man, if you're only 14, what do you know? You know 9/11, that change of effect. You know of us capturing Osama bin Laden. I don't really
Yeah,
know
see, if I had kids, maybe, hey, look at it like this, man. Look, the way I would see if I have a kid around or something like that, it would probably kept me grounded. I wouldn't have been who I was, I would have been more, I wouldn't have been able to look into the stuff I've looked into and peer into the darkness the way I have. And I'll tell you, with children and stuff, I would just, I wouldn't bring any of that stuff up, and just, I would personally just,
that's why I may just move away,
Oh,
let them have the home.
really? You think so, man? Well, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it might be okay. I mean, if it's a big enough place,
I don't want to impose on anything, and I
Right.
don't want to be told not to do anything.
Well, sure, but you can look up stuff on your own. You don't have to necessarily share with him, and all that. I mean, I'm just saying, you just keep a sort of a barrier with that kind of stuff with kids around.
These kids have cell phones, right? They can look up anything they want to.
Well, sure they can. Yeah, they can. But I would urge on the side of, in my opinion, this is just me, but if I had a younger kid around, if it was a roommate's child or my own, I would personally just not really go down those roads and talk about this kind of stuff. And if they ask questions later when they're older adults, then we would talk on an adult level. But I don't think I would ever just openly just share this stuff with, I'd let them enjoy their life and, let them.
I understand that.
Yeah.
My position is I should just go away.
Okay. Well,
just let them have let them be, and I go somewhere else.
I mean, that's an option. That's an option. Sure.
I
mean,
the things, there are things that I have to offer that would help them, but I don't want to interpose on how you raise a child. That's not my place.
No, it really shouldn't be. You could just be the like I said, this a role model and just somebody the child can look up to, as a positive influence in his life. Like I'm saying, I don't know what you do, as far as
As I said, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, and I was loose as a hammer.
Right. Okay.
Trying to hit the nail.
Well, maybe having him around would maybe, and all I'm saying is, look, we all I struggle with all kinds of things. And I talked about it on my broadcast before. I struggled, man. I've been through that, man. I've been through the ringer, dude, and I know what it's like to struggle with certain things. I don't know. I've never played
Three Dads or 2.5 Men, though.
Hey, it was a great TV show. I mean, who knows? It might be great in real life. I don't know. I'm just saying, in your situation, you might want to just see how it goes. Maybe the kid makes you a better person, dude. Like helps you not get so loose.
That's obvious. Everything can make me better as long as I look at it in the right way.
That's what I'm trying to talk to you about, that, man. Maybe it's a good thing, and that, maybe, having another influence in your life is a good thing. Just running away from certain influences that might be positive may not be a good thing. I mean, I'm just saying, or you can choose to leave at any time, but I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, I look at it like this. I think this thing, I like kids. I think kids are cool. And I just really, like, it'd be cool, like having a little brother again or something, or me being an uncle.
It would be. That's what it would be.
Yeah. You might have a lot of fun. And if it makes you a better person, then, hey, then so be it, makes you not, get so loose, as you call it, then maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you don't need to do it so much or maybe so often. I don't know how much you do it, but I'm just saying, if you feel like, maybe you do it too much, then having a kid around would kind of crimp your style. Well, maybe you need your style crimped, just thinking.
You're right.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, there are certain situations that we're in. Okay. We're all in where we have to take on certain things. Okay. And I looked at, believe me, I understand what you're talking about.
You give me a good perspective.
Listen, there are things we do and there are things that we take on. It could be a niece, it could be a godchild, it could be something that comes into your life sometimes that you're like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? It's going to really change me, but might be changing you for the better. So you have to look at it like that too, and look at the positive aspects of it. Because there are certain things I've had in my life where I'm like, oh man, I didn't want it to be this way. I didn't want this to happen this way. But I look back at I look at the whole scope of things and really think about why things happened the way they did. It's made me a better person,
Well, that's that tribulation, right? Like, we go through those tribulations to get better.
Yeah. We do.
Yeah,
man.
We become awesome.
And I don't know how you can. Hey, man, I don't know. What you do in your spare time. I don't know what you do in your spare time. All I'm going to say that you obviously know that about the Mandela effect and stuff like that. My question to you is, how in the hell can you even? Well, I can see why you do, but my thinking is like, how in the hell can you get? I never listen. As soon as I started seeing what I was seeing, like the real life quote acid trip that was taking place before my eyes, I didn't want to mess around with nothing, dude. I got sober fast. I mean, faster than I've been trying for years to get off certain things and, get my stuff right. Boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, I never got more motivated. I don't know how, like, I don't know. It's just crazy what's going on right now in the world, man.
In around third or fourth grade. Third or fourth grade, I was told about it.
Yeah. Third or fourth, yeah.
I in third or fourth grade, I don't even know, but I was living in Iowa in this remote town. And I remember a science class, and I labeled all the planets correctly. And then my dad, he had this job where moved 10 states away, and we went somewhere in Indiana, somewhere South Indiana. We called it Kentuckiana. So it was probably close to the border, but we had perceptions.
Okay.
I had perceptions of what was going on.
All right.
they're not really aligned the way we think they are from my perception of them. But like, I don't know. I'm just
what's the fourth planet?
I'm just someone that lives here on Earth.
What's the fourth planet from the sun?
Yeah, we are.
We are?
Supposedly.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to hear somebody else say it. There you go.
Yeah.
Is that fizzy?
Yes. It's one. It's
I don't
ongoing.
All I know
Yeah,
is
whatever.
what I'm
Just
trying to
stop
deal
with your. Huh?
I'll placate anyone, anywhere. Like, there's so
Well,
much imaginations that can happen. All I know is what is happening with me,
yeah.
with people around me. Everything else can be fair game.
Well,
It can be any kind of imagination that we want it to be. We can make it as great as we want or as hell as we want.
I think we have.
It's up to us.
We can change. If you get up and you want something better out of life, all you gotta do is open that door and do it. In a lot of ways. I'm saying it's going to be easy. And I'm not saying it's going to be, it's just going to manifest in front of you. I'm not here to tell you can kumbaya a new reality. I'm not saying that, but what I can tell you that if you really focus, I've seen it happen, you know, I've seen it happen. Now I did mine. And now my changes that I needed came by literally get on my hands and knees and praying about it and really like, you know, like having some deep discernment and, you know, really, you know, praying and getting back to God. Okay. That's how it did it for me. Man,
because I'm going through something that's going to be life altering to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you know that this is not it's not, this is common. This happens to a lot of people a lot of times. And this is something that the more that we know of each other, I feel like you know that we are. And it is more of a my situation you may relate to and you can help me. And then my situation, and it spreads. It's cumulative. That's why I call.
Well, no, it's fine. And that's great, man. And I appreciate I appreciate that you call in and share with us. Look, I've lived this crazy life and, I've done it so many times the wrong way. Okay. All I can tell you is that I can at least share my experiences with people to maybe, help them in some way, you know, to tell them, hey, you know, guys, listen to me. I'm from experience, you know, from the experiences that I've done. Cause damn, man, I'll tell you, looking back, I just think of so many things that, I have, and it's okay. This is one thing I want to point out. This is an important thing. Listen to this. I was thinking this week, I know that in a lot of movements out there, it's all about positive. And, you know, always think of this. Yes, that's good. But at the same time, you still need to reflect back on yourself. You need to look you need to have self-reflection and you need to look at yourself. You need to realize where you went wrong, how you hurt people in the past, and change those things about yourself. At least acknowledge them so that you don't do them again. You cannot have, it's okay to regret some things. Yeah, go ahead.
I have done those things. I was racing cars and like people got in crashes and like I didn't know if they were going to live through that crash, and we had to like back in high school, we were just doing races, you know, who could get to the basketball court faster. And like people got hurt because of it. And like, oh man, like looking back on that, that's like tragic. Like, oh, why did we ever do those things?
Mm.
And like, and now you can't even do those things to happen. And I'm like, wow, like,
There's a lot of things. Yeah. Well, you know,
I get confused, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the thing is like looking back, I mean, I was in a tragic car wreck where the entire car was literally almost killed. And I was a sole survivor that walked away that if I hadn't climbed that ditch and got up there and got to the road in time, right as this car was coming, people might have bled out and died. Okay. I mean, like it was that serious.
Really?
Yeah. I was in a horrible car wreck like that. And I got thrown I was in the back seat of a Beretta GT. I don't know if you remember that car or not.
You were in the back seat?
I was in the back seat on the driver's side of the Beretta GT, and I got thrown through the front windshield head first. Landed. I was on my hands and knees when I stood up and I was in a creek. 1 millisecond, I was in the back of this car, sipping on some Boone's Farm. Okay, heading to a party, ready to get my party on a Saturday night. No, listen, we were going to a party, and dude lost control of the car. It happened so fast. Next thing you know, I'm in the back. I'm standing. I'm literally I'm in a creek, man. I'm in a creek, and I'm on my knees.
I know a creek.
I'm on my knees, and I'm in water. And I stand up, and I couldn't remember. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And because like 1 minute I'm in a car, and in a flash, I'm outside the car. I shit you not. I stood up. I turned around. There is a light, and there is this like feeling of a euphoria.
Right,
a euphoria. No, I couldn't see anything. I just saw this light peering through like the fog, and I felt this euphoria, and I thought, oh shit, I'm going to heaven, you know, like this is it. And I'm walking toward the light, and all I know was like there was like a lot of branches and trees and shit on the way to heaven. Okay, I was like, holy crap, man! It was like really woodsy, you know. I get to the clearing, and there's the car, and there's the carnage, and that's when I was like, holy crap! I was like,
everything, didn't he?
Oh no, man! All I know, dude, is that I was like, I seriously thought I was going to heaven because the light was shining right in my face, and I was in shock. So I thought, you know, the euphoria I felt was just being in shock. I couldn't feel any pain. I looked down, I saw my leg was cut wide open. I was like, holy crap. I literally immediately felt my face because I thought I just went through a windshield, man. I got to be jacked up, and I was fine.
Yeah,
I wasn't cut or anything.
Oh man, dude.
So it was crazy, dude. It's crazy. I don't know, you know, and people always talk about their death experiences and the Mandela effect. Well, if I was to ever have one, that would have been the day. Okay. Though all those years back when I was just out of high school, and crazy times, man. And yeah, dude. Yeah. We used to do some wild stuff.
Out of high school?
Yeah. Just out of high school. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I had a crash right out of high school. This was, I don't know how old you are, but I'm pushing 1997 when mine happened.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I have to go back and think about the year and my age. Let's see. Boy, what that would have been. Gosh, I'm not sure.
Junior in high school.
Yeah. You were born after me. So yeah, I have to think about probably it's early 90s for me. Probably somewhere in there. Yeah. I'm thinking. Right? Yeah. I think it's early 90s. I have to go back and think about it. But anyway, yeah, I gotta think it was a few years after high school, and yeah, I was just, you know, just down. I remember I was working, I was a waiter, and, you know, doing all those things, waiting tables, and yeah. So I've had this, Yeah, I've done a lot of things, man. I've worked, I've waited tables. I've worked as an engineer. I've worked as a mechanic. I've been back and forth doing hard labor to, blue collar, white collar jobs.
You're
I've done a lot of different stuff.
You're a well-rounded human being, man.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Fucking
man.
awesome.
Listen, dude, everybody should wait tables. Everybody should do it because you learn to respect and to serve others.
Isn't
It's
that what happens in Sweden?
Builds good moral character.
Don't,
What's up?
don't you do something in Sweden like that? You do 2 years in service and you do 2 years in the
In some countries,
restaurant
it's man.
industry or something?
I don't know. I never heard of that. I mean, maybe mandatory to join the military, but I don't know about rest. That'd be kind of cool, really. But I think everybody should do it because
I thought it was mandatory for like service and then like also for our services.
I'll tell you what, I'll say this about waiting tables. Anybody who's ever done it, anybody who's ever waited tables will always tell you that they wish other people would wait tables so they understand their pain. That's the only job I know that people wish their job on other people so they understand what it's like to, have people complain and bitch about, this happening, that.
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Garbage men never say that. Dudes that run garbage trucks,
I don't know.
Never say that.
And maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I'm not sure, man. That's a good point.
That is a fucking awful job, man.
That probably isn't awful, but they pay those guys get paid good money. At least here in my town, they get a pretty good wage to do that job. And I'm glad they do. I'm glad they pay them good money.
Look at what they're dealing with.
Oh, I've heard of worse jobs, man. Oh boy, I've heard of worse. But you know what? Oh yeah, there's a lot worse ones out there. Yeah, I had a buddy that worked for
I guess they're always
he worked for the
there,
water.
right?
Yeah, this guy worked for the city, and he was like, he was he freaked out, man, because there was, I don't know, where he had to work on a septic system or something like that for the city, and it was gross, man. It was like, there's worse jobs, real shitty jobs. Okay, pardon the pun, but yeah, I just like, I heard about that job. That was terrible. He was just
you grab up National Geographic and you get that dude that does dirty jobs and you get him to do it.
There's some rough jobs out there, man. It's pretty nasty. Yeah, it's crazy. But waiting table is just one of those jobs that, I'm just saying, like, service, it's not an easy job, and I think it builds a lot of character. It taught me a lot. I'm just saying, like, it really did. That was a good learning experience, to learn how to communicate with other people. Okay, you learn to communicate, you learn how to be you learn respect, you learn a lot
with the young child.
Mm-hmm.
with the young bud that's coming in. I hope he gets some kind of social experience. That's what I'm hoping from, because
just see people say
forever,
retail,
like,
that's another,
be able to communicate with people. Play on your fucking notebook and
that's why I sit there.
I don't know anymore,
dude. That's why when I go to Starbucks, I don't get on the phone. I sit there and somebody sits next to me, I try to talk to them, I just say hello or had some communication. I see people all the time, they'll communicate anymore. It's really sad. We need to talk more. I don't know, maybe this, out of all this that's happening right now,
you do know.
I know.
Say you don't know.
Well, I'm saying we do. We definitely need to communicate. We definitely do. Well, I think I do anyway. So
we can't say we don't know anymore, because we do know.
Well,
we need to start saying that we do know.
We can't. You're probably right. But I say I don't know only because I never like to speak in absolutes, But yeah, man, listen, dude.
I understand that, but there are some things that can be absolute.
Well, things I can tell you the absolute truth is that
not all things, but some of them.
Well, I can tell you the absolute truth, since I know this. I know one truth, okay, and the truth is that for all of us here that saw the signs of the changes that were coming, I don't think anybody is really surprised about what's taking place right now. Okay. Because I mean, You know, this isn't really shocking to me. I mean, it's a little crazy to sort of see it all play out, but I'm not shocked by it because I think we've been getting prepared for this for some time.
If you're not shocked by this, be prepared for the next one. Because it's about to happen.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean,
yeah,
it's going to go as far as they take it.
It's
going to go as far as they take it.
And
they're going to take it as far as they can until they can't, and then they'll just play us.
Well, that's one theory. There's a lot of theory. There's a lot of, yes, that's on the negative side of things, and I get it. You know, like I said, I hope it never comes to that. Like, and I've been saying, like, we need a true intervention in this world. We cannot.
It doesn't matter if they come to that or not, because we're better than that.
Well,
that's the trick of
God.
it all,
I don't think I trust in God. I truly
do. They can bring all they want to us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We've got more than they have.
I trust that God will right this world. Okay, we'll always right this world, no matter what. So even if it gets really bad or whatever for a time, God will right this world. There will be things that'll happen, and I just trust in God. I really do, because I don't put my trust in mankind. I can't trust. I trust the politicians. Come on, you know. So. You know, the truth is the only thing we got faith in is God.
I don't fear it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to fear.
Yeah. Well,
it's us. It's our love making us comfort better. Anything else, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting carried away. But I think we are better than anything else.
Well,
we have.
I think we're going to be okay, because this world and this vessel that we call reality, okay, that allows us to experience this.
I call it
whatever realm, projection, whatever you want to call it. Okay, is not us. Essentially, it's not really you. You were not this thing. The human body, the machine that you're in, you know, you're more than that. And that's what this has taught me. So I just, you know, I look, hey, if I go tomorrow, I go tomorrow, you know, but I only go from here. I believe, you know, I believe we all live on, you know, and I believe that, you know, there's a
concept of what you want to realize.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's there's an infinite understanding out there. Okay, very few realize, and that's all I'm saying. Okay, it's so much bigger than all of this, and you know, you can't really it can't really describe it unless you feel it and you understand it, and there's no way of putting words to it. You have to feel it and understand it and know that you're something greater than all of this. Before all this was this, you were something. You were a part of God. Okay. And so that's really all that matters, truly. So they can do what they want. They can play a little scare tactic. They can do whatever. Okay. But I still think in the long run, good wins over evil. So there's that.
You still there?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Okay.
I thought I lost you.
Oh, no. I was just finishing my last statement, and yeah, man. But listen, brother, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. We're kind of run through our time here, but I just want to say thanks for the call, bro, and appreciate it, man. And listen, dude, you know,
thank you for taking my call.
No problem, man. Hey, look, anytime. Okay. We'll be back, obviously next week as well. And then
you say that, but you don't mean it.
No, I'm always back on Friday. I may have a show Saturday. It depends on if we have a guest on or whatever, but it's been a little difficult reaching out to people. People are busy with their families right now and things like that. So,
I love you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Man, no worries, dude. Hey, I deserve it. All right. Hey, look, dude, appreciate the call though, for real. Hey, dude, thank you, man. And you have a wonderful night, okay?
You too.
All right, brother. Thank you. Take care. Awesome call once again. And Fizzy, yeah, what's up?
Before we go, can you share those 2 pictures I sent you of Rosa A and her criminal gang?
Oh yeah, her what are they dressed as? I can't remember. They're
dressed as like spies or something, and they all like roam around town in this huge pack.
they're like what's their name from the Matrix, right?
Yeah, like Trinity.
They're like, Trinities. Yeah, they're like Trinity girls. Yeah, let's show it. So this is your Sims clan. There they are. There's Rosa A. There's Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
She's the leader. Yeah, she's got her black mask on and she's wearing her Catwoman outfit or something, or Trinity outfit. And then we have this one here. Let's see here. We got this one here. Oh, there's the gang. All right. So what are they doing? Why are they researching? I'm concerned. Are they planning something, Fizzy, or what's happening?
Researching crimes, Dan. That's what I think that too.
The researching what?
Researching crimes, and they send love letters to Guy Fawkes like every day. All of them. There's 4 of them, and they all are in love with Guy.
Hey, Guy, we love you, Guy. Don't even tell Guy.
The blonde one.
Don't even share this with him.
And the darker blonde is Bubbles.
Okay, so this is the darker one is Double Bubble. And who is this?
Yep. That's Hannah Walker.
That's
She's
Hannah?
the second in command.
Mm-hmm. So there they are. And this one too, who is this again?
That's Rosa in the back. She's overseeing what they're up to.
That's Rosa. Okay. All right. Double Bubble and Hannah. And you said there was a 4th, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is she wearing black?
I think she's in the red chair in the back. Yeah. They always floating around in a big group. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. And that's what's happening in the Sims world. Thanks, Fizzy. That's funny. Awesome. Awesome stuff. And hopefully everybody will be able to see that, the girls that are listed there. So I see Rosa and Hannah. I don't know if Hannah's here. Yeah, I saw that. That's funny. Yeah, so I guess was there anything else you want to share, Fizzy, before we close it up?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. Let me go through the list here. List of participants. We had a lone one, Catherine Snows, Dean Johnson with the claw, Fizzy Pop with the claw, Glowing's me, Hannah Walker, there she is, Mandela Mile, Michael Fontaine, Nico, the party pup made it in. What is up, pup in the house? Richard Melgar, Rosa A, Skabrowski, Spencer's Mustache, the Juarez Funny Farm, True Set You Free, the VW123, True TNT, as well as Marty McFly. Hey, what is up? Pushing Buttons, Faith, Hope, and Love. All right. Let's see. I'm looking to see if I just missed anybody real quick. All right, guys. Yeah, that's going to do it for us tonight. Sorry about the late start. We got in about 3 hours there, Fizzy. I think we did good. Got a 3-hour show. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow night. I'm still cruising, and I'm still waiting on my one guest to show up, my buddy and a few other people, but I'll try tomorrow and reach out to a few other people. I've already done it, but I want to get some people on. I should have on, Fizzy. It's a doctor. I should have a doctor.
What if he's Dan?
What if he's what?
Where does the doctor live? Like what general area?
He lives in Dallas, like Fort Worth, Dallas area.
Okay, so maybe he's not as brainwashed as the New York and California doctors.
Oh no, I just wanted to hear his take on all this, what he thinks, and I don't know if he can speak openly because he's the doctor. Like, if he can, say what he really wants to say, but it might be interesting. I should reach out to him and be like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? What do you think about all this? And are we taking this thing too far?" Just to hear what he has to say. and maybe throw out some examples of what these
Well,
other outlets.
obviously, it's gone too far. With a 0.01% death rate, the entire world shuts down.
Yeah, well, I know, obviously, but it'd be interesting to hear from a real doctor, like what he thinks about this, and if he knows anybody who has it, or if he thinks it's really. I don't want to get into the look. He's a doctor, okay? He's got he's a very professional person. I don't want to put him in a situation where his peers or something like that come back on him about something he said. So I don't want to like put him on the spot, but at the same time, I want to give him the opportunity to share anything he'd like, So maybe I can call him, and because all this is going on right now, and just talk to him, because it's always a good talk nonetheless, because he's a deep dude, and we enjoy having Dr. Wright on. So anyway, yeah, maybe that would be a good idea. It's always a great show. And so maybe possibly something tomorrow. If not, definitely Mandela Monday, guys. We got some great Mandela effects. I've got some stuff I got to show you. Wow. OMG. I got a Mandela effect for you guys. I can't wait to share it. Might even do a video. And I might even post it on the Scared Performance channel. Yeah, that channel. Man, that place has been crickets over it.
Hey, how much time we got left?
On what? On being blocked? I think I got over like a month and a half or something. I think I'm 6 weeks in or something. Yeah, I still got time. I don't know. I should have just fought it in the beginning. But then I'm like, it's like it's all this whatever.
Well, there's a big group of these companies that go around fake copywriting people.
Then they get away with it too. They don't get into any trouble.
A few of them have, so maybe we'll. I don't know.
Well, and when YouTube starts caring more about they start caring more about what their regular subscribers think, then maybe things will change. But right now, they just all they care about is the corporations, and they want that corporate money. That's where their bread and butter is. And so maybe if but then after all this, maybe people stop advertising on YouTube. Maybe they'll start cutting funding, and maybe YouTube will start rethinking and restructuring again. Who knows? Good things could come out of that too. We don't know. I don't know. Could be something that happens in the future, but we'll see. Look, guys, you know what? It's been a great talk tonight. Always enjoy hanging out with you guys, and we'll be back. Okay, maybe tomorrow night, maybe definitely Monday night. And so for all of us at the Scared Performance channel, thank you all for being a part of this broadcast. Have a wonderful night.